Ooh.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Dynamic Duo. It's been a while since I hosted one of these. I'm pretty sure that promo had zero audio in it. So no copyright strikes for me this week. But hey, everyone, I am Chopper Fett. And as always, I have my, I'm not as creative you, Fletch Dyna. So how's it going, buddy?
All good, man. I'd like to say hello to everyone out there. It's been a while. I know we keep saying promise 2 weeks and it became a month, right?
Yeah, that's what holidays and kids do to you, man. So
Exactly.
um,
Daddy Fat is busy with both hands, with kids, not with anything else.
mainly kids, yeah.
Many
Very,
kids.
very little stuff. Hey, burning gas, hauling ass. How's it going, buddy? Um, it's real early over, I think, where he's at right now. So, good
Oh,
morning.
yeah.
Um, so yeah, I figured, I we've been kind of putting this off, and then we had a live event from Harley Davidson that came out. So I thought, well, what better time to at least come back at least for a single week anyway, until we can iron out a better schedule anyway. So,
Yeah, that's
hey,
true.
Matt the Greeter, how's it going, buddy? Jarvis Biker,
How's it, guys?
welcome to the channel today.
Yeah, thanks for coming, guys, and thanks for watching. Today, our topic would be obviously with the elephant in the room and the cracking of a beer. Would be the 2021 Harley Davidson launch models and stuff. Hey, it's 5 o'clock somewhere.
I did it in front of the microphone. My bad.
No, it's okay.
I should have opened it way up here.
It's making me jealous anyway, and I know riding in the Ozarks is out drinking in the bar already, so everybody's drinking but me.
Nice.
Uh, Coffee's only for me. It's only about 10 a.m., 10:03 at the moment in Singapore.
Don't worry, burning gas. We don't get quite as wild on here as from the channel that I know you were just on. So a little
Yeah.
bit more low key on the alcohol consumption. What's up, Holler Moto? He's in the house. I know he's got some opinions about this week. I'm just sure he does. So
Yeah, exactly right. So let's just talk a little bit about the launch and
yeah,
our key points. I think both of us did a video on the launch,
yep.
each with a different perspective. Biggest takeaway from the launch for everybody, I think, is a disappointment.
Yeah, I think it's just a disappointment in what everyone was expecting. I know. I'll even say Burning Gas. He kind of said, it's a little bit of Harley hate. I wasn't trying to do any sort of Harley hate on my particular channel. It's just I had a lot built up as far as what I thought
Yeah,
this was going to be. I thought a live event. I thought they were going to incorporate. I know you can't have like a studio full of people, but something actual live. I don't know who it was, but it said it looked like Jason Momoa's kid was filming him in front of his Christmas tree. So it's like there's a lot of that went on. I thought a lot of the scripting was a little kind of hokey.
stiff, right?
Um,
Yeah,
but and even when they tried to do the back and forth banter on like the street pop, which we'll get into later, I was just like, it's hard to watch. So,
cringe,
but
cringe,
no,
cringe.
there was some good things. There was some negative things that came about out of that.
Hmm.
So I think we're just going to kind of have an open discussion about it tonight.
Yeah,
Hollermoto is really wanting his link to get in here, but we'll get you in here in a couple seconds, buddy. I promise you.
for sure. What time did it for you? What time was it the day that you watched the launch? Because you obviously watched it live. Live.
Well, I tried. I was actually watching it live
Hmm.
because it's 10 a.m. is what time it launched.
10
And then
a.m. Okay.
when it finally loaded and I saw it was a YouTube video that I could just click and drag on, I went back to work. And then I watched it more on my lunch break when I'm supposed to be doing that kind of thing. So
I
uh,
understand. I mean, to me, is when you talk about disappointment, I understand. Even I was for it was midnight here. Imagine I had to put off sleep to watch it, and I had sudden expectations because when you talk about live events, and just recently in Singapore, we just had the live hog event. right? And they actually did a mix between um, live and recorded stuff. Obviously, hey, Prairie Boy. So um, I thought it's probably might the same, because we talk about the C word and social distancing and everything else. So I thought that might be a little mix, but it turned out to be a whole video, which
Yeah,
is okay. To me, is then after a while I thought, okay, since I'm on here anyway, I might as well just bloody watch it,
right. And
and
that's
see.
the way I was. I watched the whole thing through and through.
Mhm,
The you know my thoughts on CVOs.
mhm,
It's I know they are a sought after product, and I know usually you want to attract people with like your best items type of thing. I'm
mhm.
not sure if that's the correct approach that Harley needs to be taking. I think they need to get a new customer base more than selling up people who are already their client. I mean,
Right.
I feel like those people are easier to retain and maintain as opposed to getting that new guy off the street to come in. So, um, but I see a guy who is just itching to get in here. Should I bring him in, Fletch?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead. So I think on that point of the CVO, here's my point. Uh, for the US market, it doesn't make so much sense to push so hard, right? But here's the thing for the Asian market and Singapore specifically. Now, the way the Asian market works is we have Harley Davidson Asia, which is the main guys who then distribute all the bikes across the various regions in Asia, right? So whether it's Thailand, Malaysia, Hong Kong, what have you, and Japan and all that. So they control the stock, and I was told that we only could get two CVOs in Singapore. So then it becomes a luxury item. It becomes a hard to get item. If you have a CVO, then you're one of a kind. You're one of two people that has it, right? So then it makes sense to push it that way more for the Asian market because they don't have that many that they're shipping out, right? And it gets snapped up pretty fast because there will be people who want to get something that's so-called unique.
But my question for you, though, for the Asian
Mhm.
market,
Right.
with that price tag on the CVO, is it
Mhm.
even feasible for the Asian market to purchase one?
Well, I cannot speak for Malaysia and Thailand because their economy is in the shit, right?
Right.
It's tough. It's tough for them to fork out. I think in Stevie's live, we were talking about a couple of million bahts, right? For Thailand,
Right.
just to get a CVO. So that's just way out of everybody's reach. Here in Singapore, 100 and I think it's about 110,000 on the road,
Yeah.
a Harley Road show. So anyway, with financing and everything else, it's still feasible, and there are people who own and will buy a CVO.
Right.
Uh,
When you're coming from an American that still doesn't know the rate exchange between American dollars and Asian dollars, stuff like that. Where at in
right.
Asia where one would actually be. So, like, say Singapore. I still don't know the difference off the top of my head of the rate, the dollar rate. So, like,
Um,
you say 100. Say it's 100. It's 100. Would you say 100,000 baht?
100,000 Singapore dollars here,
Yeah, and then
right?
here,
So
and it's like $45,000 somewhere around in there here.
Yep.
right.
Damn.
The exchange rate is to $1. It's a dollar 30 here in Singapore. It's not that far off,
Okay.
right? But the
Because
reason why it's so expensive because okay, if you make the currency exchange at 110, say, right, you're probably talking about maybe 70,000
Yeah.
US dollars, right? But 30,000 comes from tax. So actually, whatever you guys are selling in the United States is what we're getting, and then they add 30,000 tax US
Okay.
dollars on it, and that's the reason why it's that
I
expensive.
mean, around here they're adding 10%, so that $45,000 CVO is going to end up costing you 50 plus dealer
Yeah.
setup plus everything else. You're actually probably walking out the door at 55, to be honest.
Yeah, I think 55 to 56. I think you're about right on it.
Yep. And
Now,
I just
I also did not. I actually did not watch the release at all. I watched a couple videos Matt Laidlaw or whatever his name is. I actually watched his today because I wanted to make sure everything was fresh in my head for tonight.
Okay.
But just from what he was showing, and basically he showed the release on his channel, and very unimpressed.
And that's coming from a dude who is big. Like, I mean, he's a major voice in the Harley Davidson world. I mean, a lot of people take what he says as gold. So, I mean, if he's saying I'm unimpressed with that, that's not going to. I'm sure Harley's not going to be too happy with that. But it's
he was actually very impressed with what we're talking about. I'm not going to go any farther. We're talking about the CVOs. He was actually impressed with the CVOs simply because of the color. It's still a CVO. CVO is a CVO. That's all there is to it. And I actually agree. I do like the colors of the CVOs. I like the change in the colors. It's not worth $55,000 to me.
But isn't that what Harley Davidson is most years, is changing the colors?
Yes.
I mean,
yes, it is. It's just like, wow, they picked some cool colors this time. I like them. That's it. That other than that, it's nothing else.
Yeah. While we're still talking about this, go ahead, Fletch.
Sorry. Since you mentioned, in fact, the first video I ever watched was Matt Laidlaw after that, right? Because he was receiving all the bikes and then he talked about stuff like that. So I understand from his point of view why he's disappointed, because he's a huge dealer in LA, right? He's got huge floor space and he's pushing out sales of motorbikes, and because the good thing about him is that he does in-house customization as well, not just with the Harley P&A, but he's doing a lot of his own in-house stuff. So he's pushing it out. And now he's got a smaller canvas to work on.
Yes.
Right. So that's why he's disappointed. There are certain bikes that the Breakout, for instance, he did something really special with the Breakout, and now they don't have it anymore. So he's lost one bit of potential sales.
Right.
And for him, he's a businessman, right?
Yes.
It's so if you only have a handful of bikes to sell, even though you can have large quantities of it, it's still, a small choice of models. So he's disappointed.
And one thing we've actually talked about before, I honestly, my personal opinion is that Harley Davidson has too many models. They have way too many models of bikes. Models that have different names that are really close to being the same bike. So I'm glad to see a bunch of them leave. That makes me happy. Coming from a guy that's owned 22 of the some bitches. But also, I think they pick and choose the wrong bikes to get rid of.
I mean, as far as for me, so we know FXDR and Breakout are two of them that left, right?
Yeah.
Are those not
Deluxe?
And the Deluxe.
Yeah.
So
the Deluxe. I'm sorry, Chopper. The Deluxe is the big one for me. The Deluxe is a big bike around here. Everybody here loves the Softail Deluxe. And it's gone now.
Yep. When they said they were discontinuing that one, I was shocked. But I mean, I don't know how the sales. I know FXDR sales aren't great. Breakout sales probably hit or miss as well. But those three bikes each had a uniqueness to them. So the Deluxe just looks classic. The FXDR could maybe be the younger demographic guy, and then the Breakout is that guy who wants a big wheeler but doesn't want to have to pay big wheel prices. So I think there's a spot for all of them. I mean, I guess I'm not really too sad to see like the Lowrider go, because you still have the Lowrider Special or S, whatever you guys want to call it.
Yeah, you still have Lowrider S.
Yep. But what they could have done is they could have combined the Street Bob and the Standard into one, because it's the same bike with a different color scheme and now a different engine. But they could have got, they could have combined those together, for example. There's still some cleaning house that could be done if they needed to, I guess. But
like the Fat Bob, they get rid of that.
I made that a point in my video. Here's a question though: what's the difference between the Softail Slim and the Deluxe? Is there a big difference?
The Softail Slim and the Deluxe is kind of like a bigger bike. It's got bigger fenders. I believe it has bigger wheels, bigger tires.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what it is about the Softail Deluxe. Everyone I've ever ridden my whole life, they've been faster than any other bike. Even though they have the same platform, they still faster. They always feel like they've got more power to me. That's just my personal opinion. That's all I can think of on what's the difference. And the Deluxe sat a lot lower, I believe.
I mean, the Slim sits down.
The Slim, right? Yeah, it sits lower. I think the reason why, well, I'm not sure about now with the Milwaukee 8, but the Softail range in the old days, right? The engine was a different kind of engine, and the way it sat in the frame, and that engine was tuned differently from the rest. Even though it was supposed to be the same V twin, actually it was a little bit different.
Yes,
from research, right? So the V twin on the touring bikes and the V twins on the rest of them were different from the Softails, the Dynas as well, so were different from the Softails.
yes.
So they actually made a difference in a sense in those days. But now you have the cruise, or they call it cruisers now, the Softail range. They're all the same Milwaukee 8, right? So for whatever reason, you don't get the difference anyway. That's the reason why you had the Dynas, which was the Sportster on steroids. Then you had then you have the Softails with a different engine configuration, although it's the same V twin, but they did it differently. I think it's the way the rockers were, which gave them a different power, right? Power rating as well.
Their Softails were internally balanced too, weren't they? Compared.
Yes, that's right. They were also internally balanced, and they were different configuration. I think the V was of a different angle as well, so it was completely different from the rest of them. So that, in a sense, you could differentiate.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, most of it, because I had the 2007 Super Glide, had 96, same engine that's on my Softail,
right?
But my Super Glide was fast.
Yes.
That bike's faster.
Yes.
So stock. I mean, everybody knows my bike ain't stock no more, but yeah, stock configuration.
Sure.
It was faster.
the engine was completely different. You could tell. You could tell.
Absolutely, you could tell.
Right. So, but now everything is the Milwaukee 8. So now the differentiator would be the displacement. So 107 to 114, and now in the case of the CVOs is 117.
And that's another mistake.
And which you guys know, I'm still very unimpressed with the Milwaukee 8.
Of course you are.
I mean, they just don't have any power. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
But speaking of power, though, so if you're spending $45-50 US on this thing, why not just throw the freaking 131 in there? I mean,
you're exactly right. You are exactly right.
I mean, because all it is hey, spend 45 on this 117. If you want to, we could put the 131 kit in it for an additional $5. Why not just spend the extra $5 now and just give it to everybody? I mean,
but that's that Harley Davidson marketing, Harley Davidson getting more money out of somebody. That's exactly what that is.
But that being said, they're discontinuing the Stage 4 for the moment.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yes, they are.
I thought I heard that somewhere, but I didn't know that for sure.
Is it due to like a reliability standpoint, or?
No, I know this for sure, and one of the reasons is I know this for sure, and one of the reasons is because they changed the ECU, so you can't put any of the tuners that you have now aside from Harley's won't fit, and then if you do a Stage 4, you either go with the Harley's one or forget about it, and everybody wants to go aftermarket anyway, the Power Commanders and what have you. So then they decided, okay, forget it. Put a stop to it first till they fix that.
Mm-hmm. Now you're speaking of tuners and stuff, though. I don't know where this information is coming from, but are they refusing to tune anything 2021 and later at the dealerships now, or do we know anything about that?
As far as I know, it's not about refusing. I think now what it is that they have, like I said, they've made the change. Right, and they have to wait for the aftermarket guys to catch up. Just like we were talking about my MacBook, right? The new ones that come out, everybody's gonna play catch up with the plugins and everything else. So it's the same story. So when they made the change, obviously there was the reason behind that was that it was supposed to be a better ECU. You get better performance out of it when you tune it. and they changed the pins. So now everybody has to go out and make the changes on the pins to fit specifically the 2021 model ECU.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So they have to play catch up.
So can we all agree that the 131 was probably put out earlier than it should have been? I mean, I feel like watching some of these other guys who put the 131 in there, they're we got to go back and get this part to try and get it to work. It's like they're still trying to figure out how to actually utilize this motor.
I'm not gonna completely agree with that, because with anything you put out, it's trial and error, and it's, you got to figure stuff out. The only reason why I'm not going to completely agree with that is because right now the horsepower boom and people wanting their bikes to go faster, especially try to compete with the Japanese models, even the cruisers, Japanese cruisers, stuff like that. I mean, they are getting fast and they're outdoing Harley. Stop. Yeah. So with them dropping the 131 early, and I understand that's what they're doing. They're trying to get their power out there, but their platform is still wrong. You're still not getting the power out of these engines that you should be getting out of them. And I mean, going back to what Fletch said, that's part of the reason why they dropped everything, but you can't fully tune these new engines yet.
Yeah. So, like, what is a 131 making? Are we thinking it's making somewhere baseline of like 140, 150 horsepower, somewhere there, 160 maybe?
Baseline on a 131 is like 125.
Okay.
130, yeah.
That brings up my exact point then. So, I've been doing a lot of metric bike research for something else, right?
The
Ducati.
Rebel.
Well, that too. But Ducati, right?
I can tell you those numbers off the top of my head.
About a 1200 cc motor is putting out 160 horsepower. Yep. So how is it that a 1200 is putting out 25% more power than that 131? Oh, Paul, you suck with your summertime.
That's going back to when you bring
welcome to the topics, mate.
When you bring in Ducati, you got the European market, and you got an Italian bike that all they've ever wanted to do is do power. Right. That's all they ever cared about. So yeah, it's just like the cars and stuff like that. Their cars are smaller engines that have way more power than American cars have.
No, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
with his ear pods and shit, his AirPods.
Well, we're freezing our balls off. This dude's swimming.
Yeah. If you notice, hoodie, Kansas City, we're in hoodie weather, and dude's in a freaking pool swimming around. Jerkwad.
Well, that's the way I think that when you go with a European market, they're always going to have the horsepower already there, because they're going to already have all that shit figured out before they release it. Mm-hmm. Where we don't. We knee jerk react and say, "Hey, we just built this badass engine. Let's put it in a bike."
Yep.
That's my opinion of it. That's the way I see it.
Yeah. Hey, Paul, how you been, bud?
Good, mate. Yourself?
Surviving. Chilly.
Tough, man. It's tough. It's tough. Yeah.
Oh my god.
That's all right. I already am planning what I'm doing during the summertime, which is swimming in the pool and starting a live stream and making Paul join. So I'll take it all off. They will flag me for sure.
And it's winter there down in Australia, right?
Exactly. No. It's terrible.
It's winter, seriously.
It's not winter
everything's
there,
upside down.
You gotta remember,
yes, it is. It's winter.
Yeah,
it's tough here.
It's
down
under.
I missed you guys.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's
been
a while,
man. We missed you too.
I know you did. You're only human. Let's face it.
I know, right?
Hey, what's your take on the 2021, man?
Honestly, I said before, these guys are going to start understanding that they're not selling motorcycles. They're selling nostalgia and they're selling a lifestyle, right? And I don't know why they keep trying to reinvent the wheel and all this shit. Man, you know what? If people want adventure tourers, they'll go with BMW or Yamaha or Honda, because that's what's there. If people want sports bikes, They're not thinking Harley Davidson. I don't know why the fuck they. Sorry, I don't even know why the hell
It's not
they're
my
even
channel. You could
thinking.
have said it then.
I don't know why they're even thinking about doing half the shit they do. It's just pointless.
Well,
I don't
this-
want to know
this-
what he's on.
Sorry?
I don't know. I think because we've talked about this before, it's a matter of the older generation of Harley riders is leaving.
Mm-hmm.
They're dying off, stuff like that. You know, you're getting a new generation of people in, younger guys that want to go faster, that want a different style. I think.
See,
I
completely disagree. I think that there's a certain group of people who like a certain style, and they'll buy that. Like I've got my daughter's boyfriend. He's only 22, 23. He's looking to buy a 48, right? A whole bunch of my son's mates looking at buying, older dinosaurs. It's not. They're barking up the wrong tree. They're trying. Like I say, they're trying to be everything to everyone, and you can never ever do that. Like the old saying is, you can't please everybody all the time, right?
No,
so you got to stick. You got to stick to what your core is and promote that. And like they're not. Yeah, the older generation's dying off, but don't forget there's newer people coming along doing this exactly the same thing. Not everybody. Once you hit 30, 35, and you only got to look in Australia. You only got to look at the Harley Davidson Facebook pages, 200,000, 300,000 people on them. And I would say 60% of them are below 35, right?
Yeah.
So they're all buying Harleys. And they're all buying the Harleys that look like Harley Davidson. I don't see the point in doing a lot of this other stuff. It's just, to me, it's just nonsensical. I mean, at the end of the day, okay, I'm 53, but I'm not an old 53. Right, so
Look how far you're
there's a lot of my mates
right now.
I'm an 057.
But that could be like that,
we lost him.
That could be more of a culture difference from Australia to America. Like the Americans, we got a bunch of soft asses over here, and they're changing their styles. They want different styles. Now, granted, we do have the mass population that want the 48s, the Sportsters, and stuff like that. But we also have a huge mass of this new generation that wants a Harley, but they want it in a different style than what they've been getting.
Yep.
That's here in the United States. That's the way I see it in the United States. I know enough people from Australia. That's why I'm not saying you're wrong at all, because I feel like you're right, especially for Australia.
Yeah, I think since we're talking about that and marketing and everything else. Sorry, mate.
You're right.
Continue. Go ahead, Paul.
No, I said, and therein lies the next problem with Harley Davidson. They are so American-centric that the biggest market is not America. The biggest market is worldwide, right? Mm-hmm. America is such a small percentage of what their market share could be if they would only open their eyes and go, you know what? Let's get on a plane. And let's maybe fly to somewhere else besides Houston or California or New York, and let's have a look what the rest of the world is asking for, and let's maybe cater to them. But when they open up in the Asian market, you back me up on this, Fletch.
Yeah.
Talk about going with the wrong product. You know what I mean? Like, just go to India. Why would you go to India first? Yeah, huge population. They've got no money.
Yeah, exactly right.
Correct. Right. So why wouldn't you go to other countries? Go to. Yeah, of course they did. Because nobody can buy them. Nobody can afford them. You got to go to countries that can afford it, right? Why would you? Why would you heavily target Europe? Why wouldn't you? Blows my mind.
That brings me to a good point there, Paul, because you said nobody can afford them, and it's absolutely right. Because from what I gathered from that whole launch event, is we're catering to the rich. We are catering to the guy who has a deep pocketbook, like what I'll call the Johnson County guy in Kansas. People hate people in Johnson County because they can afford all this stupid shit. But
Johnson County people.
I'm a Johnson County guy and I can't afford shit though. So, but I'm not from here though. I just live here. But in all honesty, I mean, they're catering towards a small population, and
it's like that right there. That point you're bringing up If you remember back in the early 2000s when you couldn't even get a Harley because they were on back order, that's what they did back then too. They were catering to rich people.
Yep.
And those were the only guys getting bikes.
They were letting people keep their bikes at the dealership just so they had something to show in the showroom. Like they were paying people, hey, if you don't want to take your bike home, you can leave it here if you want to.
Yeah, just so people can see them.
Yeah.
But on the point of marketing and everything else, and I'm going to definitely say Paul is correct, because at the end of the day and I talked about it in my video as well. When you look at marketing, and before you decide on marketing, you look at your sales figures, right? So, and you look at it in each region. So if you know that the United States, this is the direction to go, you go that way. Now in Asia, give you an example. I mean, a lot of the guys who are 20 plus 25 are going for, strangely enough, not the sport looking bikes, but they're going for all the classic looks. They reject the fat boy now because they've made it a little bit more modern looking, right? The stupid nacelle in the front, right? They've changed the whole look from the front, and then nobody wants to buy the fat boy here in Asia and in Singapore because it looks like a spaceship and not what it used to be, right? And they go for the other bikes like the Heritage, and they go for the other soft tails because the ones especially that look like a cruiser and the classic cruisers. And these are 25 years old, strange.
That's where I bring up my point of the difference in cultures and stuff like that, because you got Harley Davidson, an American company. They start in America. They go after the American market and off what Americans want. Everybody here loves that fat boy. I like it. I think the fat boy looks cool. I really do. It's like, wow, I think they really did something good with it. I know people ain't agree with me. I mean, I hate the fat bob. So I know people ain't agree with me.
I will say I'm not a big fat boy guy. I am a fat boy, but whatever. The anniversary one that they had last year for the fat boy, the black and gold one, that was sharp, real sharp.
I agree. That one's for sure. But I love your dad's fat boy. That's the way it should look. They've strayed away from that particular look, but that's a classic, right?
It is.
Right. But that's what everybody's got to move with the times. Even Harley Davidson eventually is going to have to move with the times. Are they making drastic changes that's not right? Yes. Are they making changes that are right? Yes. But they're not in a happy medium. I think they went too far, and I think they need to back off a lot.
I think what it
still have it's just like Harley and Fletch, you both said, where you guys are at, guys 25 years old still want the older style bikes.
So, that's true. No, I understand where you're coming from, and sorry, and basically, I think what it is the old CEO and the new CEO. The new CEO has to do a lot of cleanup because a lot of the shit that has changed was due to the other guy, right? He started introducing strange stuff, and then it didn't work. Then they had to pull back, just like when Brett was saying about, for instance, the street bob. You had the standard, the Softail standard, which is a street bob without any colors, just one color. And then you had the street bob that you can have different colors still on the 107. So now they made a difference, but it's hard for them to they should have dropped it, but I don't know why they haven't still. I know when I look at the P&A, they actually have packages for the Softail standard to change it up. But the difference in terms, maybe the difference in terms of prices in the United States is not a lot, so it really doesn't make very much sense. But here in Singapore, there is close to almost $10,000 difference between the Softail standard and the street bob, right?
Wow.
And actually, they both look the same. Now you have the 114 engine, but if you want to customize, you can still customize for less than $10,000 to make it look completely different. So then it kind of makes sense, and it will reach the Asian market, and that's why they're not bringing in the standard here in Asia, because then it will reach on the sales on the new 114. We're just bringing in the 114.
Right.
Yeah. So you're saying it's a $10,000 difference. It's $1,400 here between the standard and that.
Oh, this is just machine price, right? Then you add the $30,000 tax. That's insane, right? right?
Hey, let's look
So,
at Moto's favorite motorcycle. Yeah.
oh no, I don't really like this bike, and I don't know why they still kept it.
I don't know. That's. I'm gonna tell you what. I'm gonna tell you. I know why they kept it. Go look at the comments in my in my Fat Bob video. There's a lot of people that love that bike, and they mad as hell that I hated on it.
It's probably the sales, I think. Again, like I said, Harley Davidson is a business, right? So obviously,
Yep.
they look at the bottom line. So if they did what I said they did, and looked at their spreadsheets and saw that this bike is still selling a hell of a lot,
Yes.
ugly as it may be or what have you, they'll just keep
worthless.
it, right? You know,
It really is worthless. Okay. Anyways, moving on.
Sorry, I way sidetracked him on that one. My bad, guys.
No, you're fine.
Paul, you want to say something, right?
Go ahead.
I was trying to think what I was going to say now. Yeah, I just think what they need to do. Like, if you look at some of the stuff that I just think the design department is off the mark. That's what I think. I think what they need to do is have a look at what some of the aftermarket guys are doing when they're getting a lot of these 48s and stuff and zipping them up to make look really, really cool. That's what's going to appeal to the younger guys. That styling, that nasty, edgy sort of stuff. That's what the young guys are after. You just got to look at what young guys wear. They're not wearing freaking have a look at the advertising. They put these young guys on, wearing freaking rolled up jeans and a bloody some sort of shitty freaking old fashioned style of boot and all that sort of stuff. That's not what young guys look like. Go and have a look what young guys look like. They don't look like that, right?
No, I completely agree. And
the style of the
Yep, I agree, Paul. Because look at what they're doing with the Sportster. So I'm not even bringing up another company here. All three of these Sportsters look the exact same. I mean, one has a little bit of a smaller tank, and the others just look the exact same. To me, if you're going to have so many different styles of Sportster, why not do something like what Triumph or some of those other companies do, where the Bonneville's like the base for everything. Then you have the Bonneville Bobber, you have the Bonneville Scrambler. You can really build off of a single base and make a completely different motorcycle that's going to cater to a ton of different people, but all the basic bits and bolts are the same, so it wouldn't really increase your manufacturing all that much.
Well, that's actually what I was going to bring up. My next question
exactly.
is how we feel about the Sportsters and the streets getting rid of them.
Yeah.
Getting those bikes. I'd be doing stuff like putting a fat, chunky front tire on and get some drop down bars. Get black it out. Put some color into the actual engine parts. Black the wheels out. That's the sort of shit they should be doing. It's fucking boring. It's boring. What all they're doing is they're taking the fat fucking 60 years old goes around in a leisure suit, riding his Harley Davidson, and trying to make that basically getting the same nerd who wears a beige freaking t-shirt and shitty pants and a 25-year-old and appealing to that demographic. Mate, that ain't the guys that are riding motorcycles, you dickheads.
I think that's the reason. Okay, I mean, to me, that should have been the direction of Harley Davidson as well, in a sense. Unless they decided that they're going to leave it to the dealerships. Now, when you look at the dealerships like Matt Laidlaw, for instance, he do a lot of customization. In fact, what they do is they said, okay, this is the bike I'm selling. What do you want to do with it? And they customize the bike. Here in Singapore, we're moving towards that direction as well, right? In the sense that we're going to customize. It's not going to be only about the parts and accessories from Harley Davidson, but we also got a guy that can do the new paint jobs for you. We can change out stuff for you, change out the tanks, change out the wheels, what have you, to make it your own before it even leaves the showroom, right? And I think, unfortunately, it looks like the dealerships are taking the lead on this as opposed to Harley Davidson as a motorcycle company. But again, we don't know what Joachim Zeiss is thinking about now, because he's inheriting everything else from the other guy, you know.
Right.
So what a cleanup he's doing, and whether that's the direction he's going for in the future, who knows? We don't have that kind of direction at the moment, but the dealerships are taking the lead now in customizing stuff before it even leaves the showroom.
Am I the only one who laughed at the
Yeah, so
CEO?
yeah, just on that, Fletch.
Yeah.
Hey, just on that, Fletch, right? And what Brett said before is 100% right. Why wouldn't you have in each model? Just take the Fat Boy for example. Why wouldn't you have in it four different versions of the Fat Boy? You have the Fat Boy Modern, Fat Boy Nostalgia, Fat Boy Nasty, and Fat Boy whatever, right? And each one, Nostalgia's got spoke wheels, Modern's got those shitty looking wheels that they got now with those freaking looks like a freaking jet turbine. Have the Nasty where it's all blacked out, and there's your four models in your Fat Boy, and you're gonna pick either one of those because what's everybody doing? They're doing exactly what they. If Harley Davidson just listened and saw what people were doing, but they're buying a standard friggin' motorcycle, which is okay, and then making it look hot, right? Why would you bring it out? Look, here's your motorbike. It already looks hot. And most people go, yeah, I'm happy with that. And I'm happy to pay an extra, whatever it is, $5,000 because it looks hot, right? But, yeah, and even in the sports, the same thing. In every model, maybe your base model, you have 2 options. Your mid-range, you have 3 options. Your high range, you have 4 to 5 options, right? But all of them have, like I said, that nasty look, nostalgic look, modern look, and, I don't know, Mr. Beige friggin' accountant look, right? Whatever you want. But that's what I'd be doing because that's what people want. It's plain as the nose in your face, and I can't see how these guys can't pick up on it. Everybody's doing it for them. They're showing that the world is showing Harley Davidson what they need to do, and Harley Davidson is going, no, we don't want to do that because Mr. Poindexter down in design, he wants to do this because he thinks this is a good idea. Mate, just go and see what the world's doing. The world is doing it for them. Pick up on it and cash in.
It's a funny thing that you mentioned the Fat Boy. Now, I don't know if you remember way back in 2002, 2003, they actually released 3 different Fat Boys. So the first one was the classic Fat Boy from 1990, right? With the white walls and spoke wheels and everything else, right? Then they had another one that was a little bit modern for that time, and then they had another one that was pretty modern, right? So you had the old school, and the headlights would change, the wheels were different. I think the classic one with the white walls had a drag bar, right? It came with drag bars. Then they had one that. So again, I don't know between 2000 to 2010 to the current guy how many CEOs there were, because there was such a big change in direction, right? A massive change in the guy in the middle before Joachim came on, because that guy really changed everything, right? Including the Milwaukee 8 and everything else, right? The previous guy kept it old school, 88 to 98, and it stopped there, right? So they didn't do any innovations because they know that if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? And then you had all those. In fact, in the early 2000s, remember the Sportster range? You had something like 7 or 8 different models, right? No, sorry, it was about 2010 that had different models before the new CEO came in. They had 7 different ones. So you had the 48, which they just released. Then they had the 72 with a big 19-inch wheel in the front with the 8 hangers and everything else, making it look like a 70s chopper. Then they had the Nightster. Right. Then they had then of course the Iron AA3. It was only an AA3.
They had like 6 versions of the 883.
They had the XL, right? They had the XL as well, right? The XL 1200.
Yeah, then they had the custom.
Right. So they made it, because then when you look at it, then you have so many different ones you just could buy, take it off the showroom, and you don't have to do much to it because it just fits the way you want it. So you want the Easy Rider thing, 72. 48 for the typical for the peanut tank, right?
Right.
Then you wanted if you're a younger guy and you wanted something a little bit more sportier, you go for the XL 1200
or the Nightster,
right? Or the Nightster, and then finally, Yeah, then the regular guys who just love the Sportster the way it is, then it's the A83 R and the Iron. They had the R and the Iron as well,
Yeah.
right? So I mean, I think things.
I'll give you another example, right?
Yeah. Oh, you stuck.
Go for it.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. I thought we lost you there.
I'll give you another example. Why on earth, if you're appealing to if you're trying to appeal to the younger generation, like they're saying, oh, we want to get more young guys in, why would you release the Street 500 and the Street? I mean, it's how shockingly boring is that motorcycle? It looks like a freaking GS.
You got to remember the street bikes were the Street 500, Street 750. Those were more aimed at new riders. That's what Harley's trying to do. New riders instead of a new rider coming in a Sportster, they offer.
You can still make it look appealing. You can still make it look appealing. You can still make it look interesting.
Well, it might not. It
looks like a friggin' post. It looks like.
It might not be appealing to us, but it could be appealing to the younger generation, which it wasn't because they don't make them anymore.
It's not.
It was actually appealing to the Indian market.
It's boring.
As I say, I bet the Indian market.
Yeah.
It's for the Indian market, basically.
Yeah, I mean, there actually was a lot of my younger friends around here. They bought this 500 and the 750s. Then they loved them. I rode them. They really weren't that bad of a bike. They did wheelies. So, but would I ever spend money on one? I wouldn't spend $1 on one.
Yeah, no way. Yeah,
I remember
if you're looking at the Indian market, right? Have a look at Royal Enfield. Right? Have a look at Royal Enfield's doing in India. That's why Royal Enfield is so successful. Again, what have they got? They got nostalgia. Yeah, they got it's a slow ass freaking shitty engine, crappy little bike, but it's got that nostalgic look about it, and that's what everybody likes. Everybody wants, and all these young guys, they look at it and they go, yeah, it looks, it's not very powerful, but it still looks a bit like an old Triumph Bonneville. It looks a bit like an old school.
Go buy an old Triumph
British bike.
And last but not least, don't forget that it is.
Then they go and release it.
Bulletproof. Right. I mean, it's bulletproof. I mean, right?
Exactly.
The Himalayan rides are all on the Bullet 350. It's called Bullet anyway as well. But literally, it can take shit, right? We know for sure we couldn't take a Harley on those roads because we will probably screw it up.
Unless
and
you're
it won't be
a millionaire.
Right, unless you're the $1 million guy, right? Then fine, drop a Road King in the ocean. But otherwise, and floaty brown things. So
I'm down for a ride with you tomorrow.
Oh yeah.
My personal opinion, I'm glad to see the streets gone. I'm glad to see a lot of the Sportsters gone. Now, I understand your point about have a whole bunch of different models. That way it appeals to different people. You just buy it, and there you go. You got a bike. But I hate the Sportster so much. Just get rid of it altogether. That's the way I see it.
Okay, let's get above the Sportster then. Let's go Softail line. Let's just assume that all the bikes that are Softails don't exist as we know it. You could have 3 different base styles of Softail, and then you could have 4 iterations of each of those that would suit a lot of different people's needs instead of having. I mean, granted, they did reduce models, but you could still have it all based off of 3 or 4 total models and have 12 different bikes if you needed to.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, they're all still the same platform. They're all still mostly the same engine, mostly the same frames.
Mm-hmm. I think they're all the same frames.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Was the FXDR even on the same Softail frame? I mean, everything was pretty much the same, wasn't it? Or is it different on that one?
The FXDR was different.
Yeah, the frame was different on that one. Okay.
So that was a unique thing with that one anyway. So how did it classify as a Softail?
I mean, to me, it was a Softail because, I mean, in the past, right, when they came out with this new lineup, the Softail was the monoshock, and they had to differentiate between the Tourers. In the old days, and just like Hollow Motors, Crossbones over there, it's literally a soft tail, right? They chopped off the swing arm and they put a separate swing arm which is pivots on two suspensions, right? So that's why it's called, and iconic as it was. They could easily put a monoshock there or change the shocks and still keep that frame. It's not good. It doesn't change, right? In fact, that's the most comfortable bike to ride. I loved my Softail. I love to say that's the same bike I had. Anyway, changing to the monoshock would
There you go.
only mean in terms of handling, but the thing is, it's all low,
Quick
right?
turn.
It's not like a sports bike.
Take runs, yeah.
The monoshock would be good on the FXDR and Breakout, right? When I rode it, I could feel the difference. When I rode the Heritage, right? When I rode the Heritage, it felt different from the Breakout and the FXDR because then those two were street bikes. Or so-called performance bikes, and when you take the corners, you could really see it hug the corners really well, right? And that's a good thing about having a monoshock. But having it on a cruiser doesn't make much of a difference, really. In fact, I felt that you could actually feel the bumps on the road more so because it's a monoshock.
And just to touch on your point, the fat bomb. That's one reason why that bike feels like shit.
Yes, it's the only street brawler left, right? In a sense, right? Because the frame is a little different. It's higher, and the performance in terms of corners and everything else. That's a beautiful bike to ride on a corner, just like the FXDR and the rest. But
if you have the right tires on it,
yeah, and if you have the right tires on it, it doesn't help that it's butt ugly, but.
But anyway,
yeah. So I mean, I mentioned it in my video anyway. So when you're talking about a marketing point of view, I think they should keep it within, and that's why they got rid of those two, but they didn't get rid of that the Fat Bob because of sales. I'm sure it's because of sales.
Yeah, it has to. It has to.
They want to get rid of it.
They would keep that ugly pile of shit,
right? It's because I know the other two are not really selling very well. So for whatever reason, this one is selling very well. So they just had to keep it because it's still going to make money for them, right?
Right.
But the rest of them were kept in line and basically with the same frame, same suspension, same engine. So then now it's about styling. Actually, when you look at it, with the exception, of course, with the Softail Slim and the Sports Glide, which is another disappointment for me, they should just bumped it up to 114.
Yep.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Because they were marketing it as the medium tourer, just like the Heritage. But now the Heritage, they moved it up to being a tourer, which is weird. It's not a Softail anymore, even though it's still a current Softail frame. But they moved it up to tourer. So then you're left with the Sports Glide as the only medium tourer. Bump it up to 114.
I mean, who's going to pay in their right mind base 18,599 for the Sport Glide? So you're paying 19,000 for a 107.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pointless. I mean, for
$4,500
cheaper or $4,000 cheaper, you can get a Street Bob 114 and put some freaking throwover bags on there. It's fine. I mean,
exactly.
And whenever you brought this up, whenever you asked me the other day, Chopper, about doing this tonight, I looked up and I actually have a list in front of me right now of the bikes that are gone now. And for some reason they have the Street Bob on this, but yet we know it's not gone. It's still here. They put a 114.
It got reinvented.
Yeah, a little bit.
But what I didn't know was they're getting rid of the Electric Glide.
The standard or all of them?
It just says Electric Glide.
Yeah, that's right. I just remembered that. Yeah. The bare bones.
Electric Glide.
Glide, right? Without the boombox and everything else. Yeah, I just realized that. Which I thought was strange because that was a big seller for people like me who don't want all that bullshit on the front, but I still want that big something to keep the wind out of me, and I can still take it out, and I still got two nice big luggage. It's a great bagger anyway, and it was cheaper. Yeah, the soft. Yeah. So the Electric Glide standard. Yeah, that's right.
Yep, it's still there.
Oh, they have it.
Yep, it's still there.
Oh, okay. I thought they took it away. And what is it? Still 107?
Still 107. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
that's
nuts.
2021 supposed to be the last year for it.
Oh, 2021 supposed to be
Yeah,
last year.
The last year
2021 the
for
last year for it.
it. That is a big seller here. I mean, to me, it's imagine the don't even talk about the street glide special or the road glide special. Just the regular road glide and street
Right, but
glide is
I would,
already
I would,
going at $75,000 here, whereas the electric glide standard is 50. So you save $20,000.
right, but like say here, nobody goes after the electric glide standards. Everybody goes after the road glides or the street glides.
Or Road
Yeah,
King, if you really don't.
I've never seen anyone in the Kansas City area at least riding an electric glide standard.
Not a standard, no.
Nope.
But I think it's also because you got longer, wider road, longer road, just like in Australia. So I'm sure they'll probably go for the ultras and the
Yes.
street glides and the road glides as opposed to electric glide, because then you got entertainment, right?
Yeah,
And you're doing longer trips. For us, shit, in Singapore, god damn it, 45 minutes, you just round the island,
yeah. That's
right? And to me, a lot of them don't go as far. They don't do like 200-300 miles days or something, unless they're me, right? I'm one of the few crazy assholes that do long rides. So
yeah.
for them, it's like, okay, I really don't need all that. I'm just going to be puttering around, maybe a short trip for 100 miles or something, and that's good enough.
Right, but see, if you go like where Harley Roadshow's from, down here in Australia, you got so far you can ride. You're not going to want to ride it on electric glide standard with no kind of entertainment, no kind of anything. At least most of the people I can think of would want to. I mean, you got your guys out there that love just going out and riding, and just listening to the sound of wind and motorcycle, and don't give a shit about having a stereo and GPS and all that other crap. But I guarantee that's why it's going away, because it's the road glide and the street glide are the bikes to have.
Yeah,
they're the Me Too bikes.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
You know, half the problem is here in Australia.
We're at East KC. I'm in Blue Springs.
Half the problem here in Australia is a lot of the places we go are so isolated, you can't even get a radio station.
But you can put on your MP3s, mate.
I'm not even joking. You cannot get radio station, radio reception. A lot of places, like last week when I was out in the outback.
Yeah,
mate, forget it. You just don't. There's just nothing. I rode for 10 hours one day, like straight, and it was just nothing.
Oh my God. But you had the boombox, right? So you could easily put your MP3s and stuff in it, and then just blast it through, right?
Yeah. That's what we can do, but yeah.
No,
But we'll try and get it.
Just like AB said there,
all that aerial's good for out there is to tie a flag to.
Yeah. So one other thing I want to bring up while we're talking infotainment. Why did they have to talk about Rockford Fosgate for 5 minutes when we're talking about new motorcycles?
I have no idea.
Couldn't you just said, hey, we have this new Rockford Fosgate system, yada, yada, yada. Let's move on. But no, it's like, hold on. Not only are we going to introduce it, we're going to go into depth on it. I'm like,
even Matt Law's video, he talked about the Rockford Fosgate for way too long.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, they're excited about it. I don't know how good it is, but we can never hear it.
Hey,
so, I don't know.
I mean, Rockford Fosgate's a great company. I'm not
putting
it past them, but you really could have just said, "Hey, we upgraded our touring models with the new Rockford Fosgate. You guys really need to come in and check this out."
Yeah. We got a 400 amp pushing these speakers. Come check it out. It'd be awesome. 30 seconds. That's all I needed.
Boom. Yep. But no, let's dive in deeper.
Yeah.
Kind of like Paul's gonna like sink in his pool there.
Still just researching no bike yet. Well, what kind of bike are you researching there, Conk? Are you looking all over, or are you sticking to Harley Davidson or something like that? You going brand specific? What's there? Oh, of course the Livewire, but the Livewire is supposed to be back in 2022, right? If I'm not mistaken.
I don't think they've taken it out for 2021. Livewire,
it's supposed to be gone 2022 and come back after 2022 or something like that. I don't know. This is not a factual site I'm looking at. So
Oh, okay.
they've got everything right except for the street rod. Because we know the street rod ain't going anywhere. They just revamped it, put a 114 on it.
I have to ask. I don't hardly know what a CD looks like anymore.
Actually, it's Street Bob, like your Street Rod, Street Bob. Do what? You don't know what a what looks like anymore?
Give me a Road Goliath, an old school CD player. I don't know the last time I saw a CD, to be honest with you, but that's my brother though, so he's old school. So
Yeah. We got a cheap metric cruiser to start and speed up, get something nice next year is the game plan. Right on.
Yeah.
Well, if you're looking for a cheap metric cruiser,
Kawasaki Vulcan,
Yamaha V Stars, Suzuki Boulevards, shit like that. You get the lower models, the 600s, stuff like S650s. Good prices. The bikes run good. They're pretty tough and durable.
Yamaha XVS, whatever they're called.
Yep. Yeah, man. There's so many different choices for entry level bikes that you can get. I would definitely stay away from Harley as your, well, not necessarily as your first bike, but my Harley's my first bike.
I am. My very first. I was 11 when I bought my first Harley, and it was a 1984 Harley Sportster 1000 4-speed.
Nice.
That was my first one. So
let's put it this way: don't buy a new Harley for your first bike.
Now wait a minute. Wait. Did you say the BR Schuster's your brother?
He is. Yep.
What's wrong with him?
What's that?
What's wrong with him?
What's wrong with him?
Was he dropped on his head as a kid? He just said he wants a Honda Fury.
He wants every bike, dude. He's like me, man. Like, just because there's something about the Fury. The Fury's the raked out one, right?
Yeah, the Fury's the chopper.
Yeah, he's very much into that style. There's nothing wrong with that.
And then of course Conk says a state line or a Fury. A Fury is not a good starter bike, Conk. I will tell you that.
No.
It's a chopper style bike. It rides different. It's not going to ride the same as any other bike you buy. And they're junk. Personal opinion.
Now hold on. I have to redeem my brother now because I have to show he does have style. Hold on.
He does have style.
He does. Let's see here. Come on.
Tall as fuck, need the leg room.
That's a gorgeous bike. I love the Road King.
I do like Road Kings. I really do. I used to not be a Road King fan, and then I don't know. One day I seen another one, and I rode it, and I'm like, yeah, I love that. I love that bike. And Road King is another one that I was bringing up earlier. You can have the same engine platform on that bike as another one, and for some reason, the Road Kings are just retarded fast. They're way faster.
Yeah.
How
I don't know what
Kong.
I know if he's cramped on a Road King, he's got to be like 6'6".
Yeah, he's gonna be a tall dude. You're gonna need a stretched bike.
Maybe he does need the Fury.
6'4". Man,
Oh, you should be able to fit on a Road King.
On a Road King.
I could see the floorboards kind of cramping him up a little bit.
I suppose you don't have the luxury.
You can get those extensions on the floorboards.
Oh, can you?
Yeah, I mean, actually, I can do it with mine.
Yeah, you get those little extensions.
My floorboards are already moved as far forward as they'll go. Honda Rebel, shut up, anonymous.
Now, if he was looking for a cheap metric cruiser, doesn't get much cheaper than a 250 Honda Rebel. I mean,
that's true.
But getting through a MSF course on one of those, that's the last time I ever wanted to ride a Rebel in my life. Well, except maybe the new ones, but
those new ones, man, damn, I'm kind of impressed with them. I can't wait to try to ride one. I really can't.
The new one is like what, 1,002 or 1,006?
Yeah, 1,000.
1,100.
1,100.
1,100. Yeah.
1100 should have about 120 horsepower, so it should be up there with like the Scouts and stuff.
Yeah.
So, but lighter.
So it's getting great feedback and great ratings.
Yep. And it's sub
You know, it's a
$10,000.
great bike, though.
Sub 10,000.
But
What's
talking
that?
about
You know,
that,
it's a great
sub-
bike that I rode.
what bike is
You
that?
know, it's a ripper bike I rode with the Kawasaki Z900.
Oh yeah, no, of course.
I want the RS. I want the RS so bad. I want it so bad. I got to lose weight and then I can have it, but I want it so bad.
Ripping bike. Oh man.
The H4s as well. My God.
Yep. What do you guys? Do you guys know much about the BMW 9T or whatever they're called?
The R9T.
R9T.
Yeah, they're great bikes. It's a BMW. It's a great bike.
I just discovered them like literally yesterday, so I'm just starting to add it to my research list for.
Yeah,
Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing about the R9T, though, is that it's not a comfortable bike to ride long distance.
Right.
Okay, it's not meant for long distance. You want to go short ones, 150 miles, maybe it's okay. It's a great bike. I love the way it looks.
Yes.
Right, and it's still got the boxer engine. You know, it's still. I think it's still shaft driven.
If I remember right, it is.
Yeah. So it's got everything that most of the performance BMWs has. So it's got good horsepower and everything else, and it just looks good. Right.
I'm 5 years away from like an overnight long haul trip, so I just want another beat around town bike. So that's why I'm looking at these smaller things for when I'm a little bit lesser weight, so I don't look like a bear on a tricycle. So
it's actually a big bike, you know. I mean, I don't look like a bear on a tricycle on it. So I'm 6 feet. I'm not that. I don't know, 160, 170 pounds. So.
I'm like two of you.
Yeah.
I'll say me and Fletcher are about the same size.
Yeah, well,
I'm about 6 feet.
Oh, okay. I'm 5'8", so 180.
We got that American weight.
I'm 6'4", huh?
You're 6'4"?
I'm 6'4", and it doesn't matter what I sit on, everything looks small.
Thank God for the new seats, right?
Yeah.
But we're talking about
because the old ones disappeared my ass like a G-string.
Yeah, because we're talking about all those bikes with great horsepower and everything else. You see the rating for the Pan America; it's rated at 154 horsepower.
Yes,
right, for the new engine. And then I think earlier before we got everybody on, we were talking about the future custom model.
I'm bringing it up now.
Right, and it's the same engine, so that bike is going to produce 154 horsepower as well. It's got exactly the same engine as the Pan American.
Yeah,
it's not the Milwaukee 8.
Yep.
And it's going to be pushing. But one thing I didn't notice was whether it's chain driven or still belt. But I believe it should be chain. We can't tell from this angle, but it's exactly the same. It should produce the same horsepower or more. I don't know, because they're looking at this to be the brawler.
Right.
I think that's sharp.
I
Really sharp.
like that bike. I really do. I really like that bike.
Well, last time Harley introduced something
like
sporty and awesome to me, they pulled the plug, and I'm sure. Yep.
Well, and it's like the Bronx. I know a lot of people didn't want to see the Bronx, anyways. I did. I wanted that. I wanted to see that Bronx.
I did too.
But the problem with the Bronx was that it was on a Milwaukee 8.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. So they know well enough that
if they'd have put that engine right there on that Bronx, that'd have been badass.
I think probably they did a turnaround and decided that, okay, if I'm going to produce a brawler, let's really produce a brawler.
Yeah.
Right.
And that might forget about is it.
Exactly. And then, like I said, right now, if it looks like the same engine, we know as I said, the Pan America is going to produce 154 or more. You can tune it probably, right?
Yeah.
And then this will start off at 154 or maybe more. So then this will be a much better bike for the young crowd or someone to push around really hard.
Well, it's like the Ducati Dival, 162 horsepower, straight out of the gate, right off the bat.
Mm.
That bike
Love
right
the
there.
Diablo.
That bike right there, 54 horsepower straight out of the gate. That's your competitor for the Diablo, right
Yep.
there.
Exactly.
And dude,
That's what
that also would like compete with Crown for fastest cruiser. I mean,
Absolutely. I mean, because right now the fastest cruiser is the Diablo. There's nothing out there to beat it,
Exactly.
and that's why it's my dream bike.
I love the Diablo, dude.
Yeah, I do too.
Same.
I want one so
X
bad.
Diablo with the Fords. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
It's-
but for me, it would be the X Diablo S because I want the sports suspension.
Of course, right.
Yeah, but it's
But-
You always
way
have
too
to one up me, don't you?
Yes, I do. Anyways, but I think that bike right there is going to be a great bike for Harley Davidson.
If they make it. If they make it.
yes.
Oh, no, they're making it. They're making it.
I
They're
thought
making
they were too. When they got rid of the Bronx, that was the one that was kind of deciding factor. It was going to be that bike or the Bronx. They got rid of the Bronx, and they was going to produce that one instead.
If they keep the price 16, I think it'd be all right. I just don't know. I mean, because if you come in at 16, X Diablo S is like 21, 22 here.
Yes.
If you came in under your best competitor by a lot, that puts a lot of pressure on your competitors now, and you have the upper edge. So
I think probably because of the displacement, it's going to be 1250, right? Just like the Pan America. The Pan America is positioned just between the Sportster and the Street Bob. So the pricing should be around there, maybe a little bit more because then you got the luggage and the doodads that you can add to the what do you call it, the Pan America. Probably it's going to be a little bit more than the Street Bob, but this future custom will probably be between those two because then there's not much you're going to add to it anyway. You're not going to add luggage. You're not going to add a fairing or what have you, right? So most
No.
likely.
the exhaust could be a pain in the butt to get off with it being hung over that lip, but I don't know. I could work with that.
I don't know.
I love the meaty tires on it. Those are.
I do too. I love those meaty tires, but I'm a fat tire kind of guy. I like fat tires.
You mean what? You like fat bobs?
So,
Is that what I heard? You like fat bobs?
I hate you.
Okay, so it is fat bobs. Okay, I just thought I misheard. I thought you said fat bobs. Okay, good.
Anyways, I'm coming more and more around to the Pan America.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a bike I would ever own because it's just not my style. I'm not an adventure bike kind of guy.
Mhm.
But I don't know. For some reason, it's starting to grow on me. I'm starting to like it a little bit more.
Does anyone know is that a high revving motor or is it?
I don't know. I'm
don't
going
know
to
either.
assume it is.
You say it's a high revving motor, meaning?
Like RPM like 9,000, or is it like a typical Harley at 6,000? Like
No,
line.
it should be much more. It should be much more because you need to take the rough terrain,
Yeah,
right?
makes
You need
Yeah,
higher RPMs. You need higher torque to be able to take the rough terrain. It's going to be torquier than the Harleys. It's going to be higher RPMs than the Harleys, for sure.
Yep.
Right, and in terms, and again, the horsepower is already there, so
Yeah.
definitely you'll be to be able to handle the rough terrain. I would probably consider getting the Pan American because the roads here in Asia are shit. Seriously, I mean, there's sometimes where I wonder why the fuck I'm doing on those roads, unless I'm trying to be another $1 million bogan and just drop my bike every now and then, because there's some roads that are just simply not roads. Because as you get further north and the third world countries, whether it's Vietnam or the lesser part of Thailand and Cambodia,
3-foot ruts.
they're really not roads anymore, right? So then I could never take my bike to Vietnam because I tried it once and then just crossed back the border. I couldn't take it. It was just too bad, right? I was struggling, and at that time I had my crossbones, and I was just slipping and sliding, and I was doing like 60 and 70. Oh no, that's not riding anymore.
Yeah.
That's crazy. But with an adventure bike, I had the BMWs just flying past me. It's like I was pissed off. So pissed off.
They're gonna be gone.
I don't know.
Hey, Fletch.
Oh,
Fletch.
hey. Yeah.
Fletch. Elon and I were looking for a bloody a waterfall once in the jungles of Thailand on a 125 scooter, right? So you can imagine, right? Anyway, we got up this hill, was about that angle, I reckon, and it was just like rocks about this big. You know how big the wheels are on a friggin' 125 scooter. They're about that big, right?
Yeah.
Well, by the time we were into it for probably, I don't know, about 2.5 hours, and I've just turned and go, listen, we're not getting to this waterfall today. We're not getting this waterfall. Anyway, so I ended up having to get Elaine off. I actually picked the scooter up and turned it around.
Turn it around.
Sit on the back.
It's a bicycle.
Out. Oh, man.
I know how you feel. Mate, I know. If you've ever been, and we had that trip planned, I would have taken you to this other place called Batong, right? Which is on the southern part of Thailand. And there's this great mountain that you to go up. But I tell you something, it's not a bloody road, it's just a dirt road. And it was tough getting up there, and they had rocks and everything else. It was crazy. And I was doing it on my Harley as well, my Dyna this time. And I was standing up and slipping and sliding, and it was insane. We just didn't make it up, And then they still told you to park your shit here, and then we'll take you up there. And then we just jumped in the 4x4, and I went up to the top. Yep. Right? It's just that bad. Yeah. So that's why the Asian market
is completely different.
Yeah. And that's why the Pan American will do well in Asia, especially those people who still love the Harley Davidson. And I think it really looks good. I still like the shark head that it still has.
But the main problem is going to be the price of it.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, to me, I think they're not going to make it too expensive because number one, it's 1,200 cc's,
right?
And what makes it a bit expensive would be probably putting on the luggages, right, and adding all the extra stuff that it goes with an adventure bike. But that's the same when you buy a BMW.
Well, you buy a BMW. Remember, the BMW is only 1,200 too, or 1,250. So
exactly.
BMW is high price. It's a high price. It's a very expensive bike. So
yes.
As long as Harley can come under that, they're going to sell that bike. That bike's going to do good.
Yep. I believe it will be, and this is going to be the BMW killer in Asia, right? Yeah. But the proof in the pudding is how well it handles, right? So we know that the for the venture market, the big boys are of course BMW,
right?
KTM,
followed by the Honda African Twin, right, and then KTM. The rest, and the KTM. That's right. But the problem with the KTM is that the displacement is still pretty low.
Yeah.
Right. But it's super talky.
Yeah. But it's still number 3 on that list.
It is. And it is a good bike. I prefer it because it's bulletproof.
Yeah.
Right. As opposed to the BMW and everything else.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean,
and everything's fiberglass. And last but the only downside is the size of the tank. It's much smaller than the BMWs and all that. So again, you want to go long distance, it's going to be a little tough. But then again, if you're willing to ride a Harley, it's the same thing, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
We could never compete in terms of distance with a BMW because of their tank size. It's 20. I think it's 22 liters for the base GS, and the GSA is 32 liters. I could just go all day.
I mean, even if Harley doesn't dethrone BMW, like you have BMW 1, whatever. Even if they're just somewhere 2, maybe if they can get to that status level with that bike, that'll be a success. I mean, I don't know.
Even if they get to 3,
yeah, true.
Yep.
If they could just get a piece of that market,
if they get to 3, they've done really well.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
So the only time we'll really see is that launch, right? And they claim that they're taking it to Kenya. So the terrain there is pretty rough. So if it could handle that terrain, and again, I don't think it should be Jason Momoa riding it. It should be a real adventure tourer guy taking it through its paces, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? Because I mean, he rides a bike, but he's not. He's an actor, not a dirt bike kind of guy. So they should show him. Yeah, he's the brand ambassador and everything else, but They need to get a real guy on it,
No,
take
you
it through
just
his
get a
paces.
regular guy off
Oh,
the street.
I like to see Fletch. You tell Jason Momoa he's not a real guy. I like to see this.
Well, not a real biker guy,
Hey,
you know.
they should
Like
enter.
3 times
They should
more
enter. They should enter it into the Paris to Dakar.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, yes, exactly. I mean, that's yeah. That's the proof.
They want to be
Proof of
fair
the
income, and
pudding,
they want to
right?
break into the market. Yeah, put it in the Paris to Dakar or the Fig Desert Race or one of those things, and that'll show how good it is. We're in a
Exactly.
real hurry.
I'm sure they will. This is the
Anonymous
only
says
way.
15 to 20K.
Now, Fletch, you said you watched The Long Way Up. You said basically the quote unquote live wires they were doing were basically Pan Americas with the electric motors, right?
That's exactly right. They actually modified the thing, knowing that they're going to be off road. So they actually changed the forks, changed the tires, changed the suspension. They raised it a little bit higher, so that the underbelly. But don't forget, that's a different kind of bike.
Right.
The center of gravity is completely different.
Right.
Even though it handled, but you could still see Charlie just fall off, and same with Ewan. He was falling off the bike and everything else, simply because it was not meant to do that kind of roads. But
Right.
they still did it.
It still
Right.
was done. Yep.
But it's still the concept of the Pan American, because they were using Pan American parts
Right.
already. The forks and the suspension and the tires and a bit of the frame. I think they changed the frame out a little bit so that it could handle. So if that bike could take the snow, the desert, the mud, it wouldn't be a problem with the Pan American.
Anonymous Biker brings up a good bike, the Tiger
The Triumph
1200.
Tiger.
Yep.
Yeah.
Forgot about that one.
Yeah, but I mean, also it's a Triumph.
It is a Triumph.
It's not something bad. It's just around, especially around Kansas City area.
Mhm.
Not many people ride Triumphs.
Mm-mm.
I don't have much dealings with Triumphs at all.
The Indian dealership by me, they can't move a single Triumph to save their life. I mean, they're sitting on 2019s.
And but I wouldn't mind having a speed triple.
Yeah.
Just because I got no sense about myself and I want to go fast and stupid.
I saw someone post up. I think it was Conk said if you've ridden the Rocket 3. I don't know. There's none around. There's none around here. But
Anonymous asked me if I've raced against a Rocket 3 yet.
Okay.
And I have not, because there aren't any. There aren't any.
I want to
around.
ride one. I want to ride one just to see what they're like.
I would like to too.
Completely
It's
off
a monster. Yeah.
Because actually, I had a live stream one night. Bob Fett got in with me.
What's that, Paul?
Bob
Yep.
Fett is one of Shade Tree Surgeon's buddies.
I'm gonna.
Go ahead, Paul.
Yes, Paul. Go ahead, Paul.
Yeah, I've got to head off, guys. I've got to do some shit. I've got to get out of this pool and get dry and freaking get up, do some stuff. So great to see you guys again. G'day to everybody in the side chat there. I can't see anything because
Thanks,
I'm really
mate.
blind here with the freaking sun. But
right.
have a great weekend, and we'll see you shortly.
See you later, Paul.
See you, man.
Take care, mate.
See
All right,
everybody.
so
Catch ya.
But yeah, Bobber,
just so we
which is
know,
good for
he's got to be a raisin right now. A pruning raisin.
Yeah, hello, you're saying?
Bobber Fett, good friend of Shade Tree Surgeon. Bobber
Yeah.
Fett, actually a good friend of mine. He asked me if I'd ever raced a speed triple. I said no, not yet. And Bobber Fett watches all my videos. He watches my races. He talks to me and shit. And he goes, that'd be the bike to kill you. And I'm like, I don't know. I still feel like I could. I feel like I could take it off the line, but I'm sure in the top end, he's going to smoke my ass because he's got a whole bunch more. But I really would like to ride one. I want to know what those bikes are all about.
I mean, he's probably got 200 pounds on you with that?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
He's a big boy.
Oh no, I'm not even talking about him. I'm talking about bike to bike.
Oh yeah, the bike itself. Well, I don't know, because I mean my bike's a heavy damn bike, and Fletch can contest to that. The Crossbones is a heavy bike. It's almost 900 pounds.
Is it really? Jesus.
It's 870.
It is.
Jeez, where's the weight?
Everywhere.
Oh,
it is actually a very, very heavy bike.
It is. Well balanced, but really heavy bike.
Yes,
you feel it when you come to a stop, and you need to park or something, then you're really screwed.
Yeah,
You know,
it's a heavy ass bike.
taking on a U-turn. Jesus Christ.
That's why I got a floorboards left.
Oh yeah. I know. The first thing I hit was the floorboards right off the showroom. You know.
Yep.
Cheers now.
It's low as hell, and yeah, it's a heavy bike.
It is.
But I don't know. I agree with you. I would really, really like to ride a Rocket 3. I really would.
I just want to see what it's all about.
Yeah.
They don't do test rides on it, right? Do they? In the showroom?
Not at the Triumph that I know of.
Right. I think it's just too
They're
expensive.
actually there was a dude selling one locally. It's like it's just sub a 2010. It's like 2008, 2009, maybe.
Yeah.
For like $6,000. I was like, kind of want to just go test ride it, but I didn't. I wasn't going to be that guy. Just joyride, but you know,
it's hard to be that guy. Just go, oh yeah, man, I'm really thinking about it. Let me ride it. No, I don't like it.
I mean, the result probably would be I don't like it, probably, but you know,
and that's exactly how I feel about it. I feel like I wouldn't like it. I feel like that bike is just going to end up being too much for a bike to ride around all the time.
Yeah. Now I do think like another anonymous one up there, the M109R. I know Roland has one of those down in Australia. Yeah. I think that's a good mixture. It's your muscle bike, but you can go a long ways on one of those.
Yes. Actually, the M109R has a big following here in Kansas City.
Does it?
I have several friends that have them, and it's like I said, I've raced every single one. I beat every single one, but it's the only bike that I've ever raced against that was right there, and they were passing me as we crossed the finish line. It's like, I'll win if we had another 50 feet. They smoked my ass. Those bikes are super fast. They really are. They have no low end torque, but man, on the top end, they are fast. They handle great for having that big giant 240 or 280 rear tire they got on them. Mm-hmm. They handle really good.
Yep. I saw I thought it was kind of weird. So I'm not sure if you guys watch Brandon Picasso, whatever his name is. But he has an M109R and he just bought a V-Rod Muscle. I thought two very similar bikes. I mean, what's your experiences? I mean, I feel like the V-Rod probably lays an egg compared to the M109, but I don't know for sure.
But I thought that the Muscle was pumping out about 150 horsepower as well. It's a Porsche engine, right?
It is. I mean, my dad's is a Muscle, and it doesn't feel like 150. Like if my bike has 90, there's no way that thing has a 150 in it. But I don't know. I don't even know what mine probably has like 60 for all I know. It's probably like running like shit, and who knows. But.
What year is yours?
Mine?
Yeah.
09.
09. So which engine do you got? You got the 96?
I have the 96.
Oh yeah, you're at what do you got? Exhaust and
stage one, just stage one. Yeah, exhaust, tune, and intake.
You're at probably right around 85 horsepower.
That's what I figured anyway.
Yeah.
It's good. It's a nice all-around bike. I don't race, so
I mean, you guys know how I feel about the 96s. They're the best engine Harley Davidson ever put out. Ever. Nothing will ever be better.
No, I agree.
The V-Rod. That is the one Harley Davidson that has eluded me that I have not ever been able to ride.
Oh,
really?
I've never got my chance to ride one.
Let's put it this way. I love it. So I'm hoping my dad will eventually just sell me his for not market retail. But it reminds me of a lot of riding the Dyna around, but it's just got a completely different set of like ergonomics to it. Right. It's made for, I don't know, like I feel like me being 6'2", I felt really comfortable on it. Like my legs were stretched out. I know they make ones that have mids and everything too, but I really like that bike. It doesn't sound like anything. It just sounds like
a V-Rod.
Yeah, exactly. Which is unique in its own right. So better than a sewing machine like the Milwaukee's, but you know.
Yeah. I definitely, if I had the opportunity to buy a V-Rod, I would definitely I would buy one.
What do you go out to Chopper Fett's place and try his dad's bike?
There
Then
you
you get
go.
a good feel, right?
Just hold me at gunpoint or something. It's like, Dad, this guy has to ride your bike.
You're like, see you, son.
Yeah, I'll come back and wash it for you. Don't worry, you know.
Maybe wait till he at least puts a new rear on it. It's pretty bald right now, so
Oh yeah, I gotta go put my rear on tomorrow. I got the tire sitting over next to the Harley.
let's see here. Just gonna find.
My awesome Michelin Commander 2s.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
I love the tires. God, I love them tires so much.
Michelin.
Nobody will ever convince me ever that there's a better tire out there.
No.
Mm.
Yeah. No,
I mean-
I had the Michelins on mine as well. They were really good.
That's something that Harley did right, even though I know so many Harley people hate it. I mean,
That bike is amazing. It
Yeah.
really is.
I think the hate lasted for a while, and then everybody wanted one, and then they took it off the market.
Right.
You know,
But
because
I feel like the hate is kind of what killed it.
yeah. But
Because,
funny thing is that these are the guys that will never buy it, but there are a lot of people that are gonna buy it, and it was the most popular. They had the V Rod, the Night Rod, then the Muscle, and it sold out here in Singapore. We brought in a lot, and everybody bought it out. You know, it's a different kind of bike.
it's a very popular bike down in Australia too. I know they have a huge following down there for it.
But it kind of goes back to like let's just say Paul, for example.
Mhm.
Paul is an old school Harley guy.
Yeah.
He really is. He can deny it, but he's an old school Harley guy. He wants the nostalgia. He wants the old school. And I feel like Australia as a country is more that way.
Yeah.
Going off of what he says, whether here we have our old school guys, but we got our new school guys that want the new stuff. And the old school guys hated that it was a water cooled engine.
Yep.
Yeah.
They hated that.
Were they-
all for it. I
Did they
love
hate it?
it?
Did they hate it, or were they secretly jealous of it?
Probably.
Most
Yeah.
likely. Most likely.
Oh, but that shit gets hot, like really, really hot.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, didn't it? Was that true?
The
I
original
thought
advertising did have a girl on it.
Really? I
yeah.
thought that chick sells the bikes anyway. I mean, take a look at when they pushed out the Nightster. They had that supermodel on it, right?
Yep. Yeah.
Right. So
If
That's not why I bought the Nightster. I bought it just because I went for nostalgia with the Nightster because it when they came up with the Nightster, it was kind of a throwback for me to the 70s for
Yes.
the Sportster. That's why
Exactly.
I bought one. I only had it 6 months because I friggin' hated it. I remember why I didn't ride Sportsters anymore. God, this bike hurts me so much. It's so uncomfortable.
oh, yeah, that's
if
true.
if his theory is true that it was a girl advertisement, then the new 114 Street Bob is doomed because it was a girl promo.
I don't know. I think
That 114, I really do like that bike. That's a
Street Bob?
smart decision. Yep, that is a
Yeah.
smart decision.
Yeah, it was. It honestly was. That 107 is junk. Put a 114 on it. Make it more appealing. And put
Did you know it doesn't take much to go from 114 to 117? I mean, not that I don't even know what the difference is, but when you have a 107, it's like getting up to those higher displacements takes a lot more effort to try and make something out of nothing. But
yeah,
I know certain guys listening who loves his 107.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we know how I feel about the 103, 107, even the 114s. They're lacking. They're lacking power.
But I think we need to wait and see for the new 114, the new 114s, because again, like I said, they changed the ECU. Right? They claim.
I agree with you. I agree that it could be something there could be something to that.
Yeah, because they're claiming that right. We won't know till we really ride it. That actually they bumped up the horsepower already, and then with this new ECU means that you can really tune it up
Mm-hmm.
to get the best that you want to at stage 1 or stage 2.
Right.
Put a new air filter in, put in pipes and what have you. Then you put in the tuner and you push it up. So I think the new ones we have to wait and see to the first person that gets on it to let us know really is there a difference anymore with the new
Right.
ECU.
Right. I mean,
But
because
the old one's junk.
I've ridden 103s, I've ridden 107s, I've ridden 114s. And I'm gonna tell you, all of them feel the same to me. They all feel the same amount of power. None of them
Yeah.
feel different.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's what holds all of them back is exactly that. You could tune those bikes, but you can't get what you want out of them.
Mhm.
They throw a new ECU in them where you can actually tune these bikes with your stages. Yeah, you're gonna have a good bike. You're gonna have a great engine. That 114 might end up being something really good.
Exactly. I mean, that's the direction they're going. I know, like I said, in a lot of people's videos when they were talking about the change in ECU and the changes in the clutch for the tourers, that it's all bad. It's not going to be good. They don't want us to tune it and all. That's not that they don't want you to tune it. It's again about catching up, right?
Right.
The good example again is the new MacBook that I bought. Right.
Mhm.
All the other guys have to catch up to it to make sure that it works the way it's supposed to work, but it's blazing fast. So the same thing with the new ECU. They claim that it's going to be better horsepower and so forth. But because
Right.
they changed it and the pins are different, so the power commanders and the rest have to catch up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right. So it's not that they're saying to you, then you can't tune it. You can, right? Harley tuner. But if you don't like the Harley tuner, wait a little bit. Give them a
Yeah.
couple of months.
Yeah, an aftermarket one will be available.
Yep.
For sure. Right. And then you can tune it the way you want to.
Peaches? God dang, why you got this with me?
Leaky Harley.
My bike don't leak. Your mouth leaks though.
Hey guys in the side chat, why don't you come on board and tell us how you feel about the new 2021? I think you've heard a lot from all of us. And Peaches, why don't you just come on and give him a hard time?
That's all she does.
Stalks them.
Story of my life for the past 5 years dealing with Peaches.
Oh man.
I'm gonna tell you right now, if you go out and you get a dival, I'm gonna be at your house every damn day.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah, it is. You won't come visit me with my lowly old Dyna, but you'll come visit me with Diavel. You can come look at it all you want.
Give it a good wash or something.
Yeah.
I will wear a thong and wash that thing if you let me ride it.
As long as you put the clothes back on after you wash it. I don't need your nasty butt cheeks on my $22,000 seat. So
I'll give you some brown lines on the seat there.
I thought the Livewire was still there for 21.
They're discontinuing the Livewire because of issues, but they're supposed to be bringing it back. That's what I saw.
No,
yeah,
they're keeping the Livewire.
Yeah, they're still on their website anyway.
Right.
No, they're keeping it
on the website, so that's why I didn't.
Oh, it does say 2020 still, though. Huh.
Right.
What?
That's what I had heard. It was probably about a month ago. The Livewire was getting discontinued for 1 year to sort out the problems that they're having with them.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think they found. Okay, the good thing about the long way up, right, was a good test for them. Right. One of the things they realized was that number one, if you're in a place in like South America where you don't have the infrastructure, then you need to just be able to go to the grocery store and stick it into the wall socket and charge it up, right? Yeah. They had to do some modifications for them to do it. If you notice, if you actually watched it, they literally went to this restaurant to eat, and they said, "Listen, we need to charge up. Just plug it into the wall socket," and they did. But it takes longer, of course, because it's not a fast charge.
Right.
But they still could do it. So after about an hour or two having lunch, they bumped it up by another 20-25% on the battery, which is pretty good, right? So I think they need to work on that because from what I heard is that you can't do that now with the stock. You have to have a fast charger or buy their battery pack or what have you. Then it works. Then it becomes crazy, right? Then you have your luggage and everything. Now you still got to carry this shit
Yeah.
as well. So they're working on, I think, a converter so that you can still charge the bike when you go to a hotel. Just stick it to a wall socket. And
Well,
it takes longer, 8 hours to a full charge, but you still get it done.
I think you can use the wall socket still. Blockhead had a live wire for about a week, but he broke it. You can't use an extension cord. So basically, an extension cord tripped everything, and it wouldn't charge after that. But
okay.
but they say it in the manual not to use an extension cord, et cetera, et cetera. He's like, well, you should have told me before you gave it to me to play with. So,
I think what happened was that he probably watched the long way up and saw them doing it. And in fact, what they did was they literally put it on an extension. But here's the thing: the caveat was in that show they made it very clear that they made modifications already to that bike to be able to do it. So they had a converter inbuilt, and that's why the bike was a little bit different. They had to make it a little bit taller to add that stuff in. It was a bigger capacity battery as well. So motor charge. So I think the one off the showroom you can't do it, but if the modified ones that they had, that Charlie had and Ewan had, you could do it. Because I remember one episode they literally pushed it into the lobby of the hotel, and then the guy brought out this extension and they just plugged it in, and they charged overnight. Right. So again, it's a little bit different.
We've talked about the long way up so many times. I've been trying to find it so I can watch it. I can't find it anywhere to watch.
It's on Apple TV Plus, but I think if you go to a torrent site, and download.
Yeah. Well, they had it on YouTube, but it was broken up, and I had no idea which episode was like the first part of it. Like that.
Sign up for. They have a 7-day free thing for Apple TV Plus, right? Just sign up for 7 days and just quit it.
And I've got all Apple shit. Why don't I have Apple TV Plus?
I think it should be free 7 days, right?
Okay.
So sign up 7 days and you get 7 days to watch that entire episode. It's 10 episodes anyway.
You keep talking about you bought a new MacBook. Did you go out and buy a brand new one?
Yeah, I did. Well, I didn't. I traded up my old one for this one, and I paid about. Pardon?
Did you get the 2020?
Yes, I got a 2020.
How is it?
It is blazing fast. Seriously, it cuts everything. It cuts my time down by 50%. I mean, the last video I did, I literally recorded it on the same day, edited it in 3 hours, recording and everything else, and then put it up. I couldn't do that. I couldn't do that with my old stuff.
Yeah, because I use MacBook too, but mine's a 2014.
Oh yeah, no, you won't be able to do that.
Yeah,
it's gonna take a long time.
It takes me whenever I edit a video, just rendering my rendering, and I only do single pass, and it takes 2 hours.
My God! Right now, the last video I did was about 11 minutes. I did it in 5. Render. Shit. It's super fast. Fast.
I have to spend some fucking money. Thanks a lot.
No, but you could trade it in, right? I think you still can get some money off the 2000.
Yeah, I can trade it in.
Yeah, so I traded mine. Mine was a 2018, I think, or 17, and then I managed to get about 800 on it, and then I paid another 600 or 700 for this one, so it was a good deal.
Yeah,
so it made sense.
M1 chip speed.
Oh, the Mac Mini is really very cheap. So if you trade it in, you probably end up paying $100, $200 for the new Mac Mini M1.
Yeah, and they're pretty quick too.
The same as the MacBook. It's just that you can't carry it around, right?
Right. Yeah.
But basically, it's just super fast, man. I mean, Jesus. Even if you're not using Final Cut Pro and you're using anything else, they've pushed out Premiere Pro already. Ready for the M1, so it's super fast.
Yeah, actually, I use Premiere Elements is what I use.
Right.
Because Premiere Pro and everything, you got you got your monthly fee or whatever. Premiere Elements, it's $120 and it's yours. You don't. There's no paying for it every month. $120, it's yours.
But I think they've already made the version of it that fits the M1, so no problem. Whatever you're doing 2 hours, you probably end up doing it in 10 minutes.
Yeah, okay. I need to upgrade. Of course, I've known I need to upgrade for a while now. I just haven't done it.
Yeah. So Jarvis is saying that he's got a Mac Mini, 8 gig of RAM, no problems.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I have anyway. It's a base model.
Yeah.
I didn't need to put anything more. It's 8 core and a separate 8 core for the GPUs. That's why it's super fast. And I used in my old MacBook when I was editing and adding LUTs and doing all the crap that I usually do. You could literally see the basketball of death come up for a while.
Oh,
and then
yeah.
it slows down, and I get fed up and have a cigarette and then come back and then continue editing. But I could do now with this one, I can do it in one sitting. Right? In half an hour, I'm done editing. Then I just hit render and I go off. I come back. In fact, I don't even have to go off. I was just telling Brett earlier. I don't even just as I'm about to lift my ass off the seat to go get a cigarette, it's done.
Right.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I definitely need to upgrade.
Yeah, it helps a lot. I'll probably do a video on this MacBook and my editing and all that to show how fast the damn thing is. And I mean, I really put a lot of shit on my videos that really taxes it.
I have a complaint.
Hey, Jarvis.
I have a complaint. This is a legit complaint.
Okay.
Especially for you, Fletch.
Oh, okay. Oh my God.
Stop premiering your fucking videos for 5 days before the video comes out.
Okay.
I'm like, I see it on my damn subscription list. I'm like, oh, cool. God damn it, I still got 4 days left.
And then it's at 7 a.m. our time on top of that.
No, I have to think. I keep forgetting about daylight savings time, Shit.
7 a.m. is fine for me because that's when I get off work. I'm sitting here at the house in the morning anyways. But
right.
God damn, it's like because you're really loving that drone and you're really starting to set them drone. And it's like, well, I want to see what you're doing with your drone compared to what I do with my drone. And it's like, why do I got to wait 5 days?
You know why? Now I'm super speedy and on doing the editing, right? Then I'm like done in a short time. And I go, okay, fuck it, it's for next week, right? Just preview it, And I realized that because I don't want to forget.
Yeah.
At the end of the day with work and everything else. So I just like, fuck it.
Because I schedule all my videos too. I schedule them for 2 or 3 days. I just don't premiere them. So people's not doing the same thing I do, you dick.
Yeah, I should do that. No, at least like the last one is just 1 day, right? So it's not so bad.
I set mine up for Premiere when I want to get a little bit more like advertising going in on it. But other than that, I usually just do a schedule release on them.
Yeah, no, I mean, believe me, I understand Premiere, but also it's like it's an annoyance.
Oh yeah, no, I get it.
Just by your thumbnail or your title, I'm like super interested. And I really, really want to watch it back. It's like watching a television show and you got to wait till next week to see what happens. It's like,
God damn it. Yeah, no, I know. I'll probably move it to just 1 day before. Now that I'm moving faster on my editing and everything else,
right?
I should just do that.
Anyways, what's up, Jarvis? How you doing?
Hey, Jarvis.
Hey, man.
Hey, we're good. Staying busy.
What you got going on?
I haven't fallen down again yet, so everything's good that way. So.
Check out the drum set behind him. All right.
Yeah. Just something happening. Yes.
I think Jarvis,
you got a mic problem there.
Yeah. You got an echo?
Not an echo. You get a lot of static.
What's that?
You're getting a lot of static.
It's static.
Oh, really?
I need to check something as well. I'm going to mute you real quick, Jarvis. There's also like a beeping noise.
Yeah, it's like your drone is dying or something, or it's gonna land. Your drone's landing.
There's nothing in here making any noise.
Weird.
Yeah, we could hear a beeping sound on your side.
Let's see, it goes away.
No.
Weird.
It's still there?
Yeah, it's still there.
Yeah,
that's okay.
I hear your voice. That's all that matters. I can live with the little.
Yeah, I can live with the beeping.
Yeah.
All right.
Mac
I'll go
Mini?
away. I'll come back.
What's that?
He's gonna go away and come back.
I'll come back.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna hop on the laptop.
Yeah. I'll have all his instruments behind him, man, and check out the big ass Marshall behind.
Oh.
Which reminds me, man, I need to get back to music too. But then again, I have to wait for all the interfaces and shit to catch up with the M1. God damn it!
Did you get rid of your other one too?
Which
Or do
one?
you still have it at least?
The MacBook.
Yeah, the one that you had before your new one.
I traded in. No choice.
Oh, you traded in? Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. Can't afford to buy a brand new one off the shelf. So trading in at least,
The bad thing about Apple, man, whoo, this shit's expensive.
God damn expensive.
Actually,
everything.
it's surprising, dude. This new Mac Mini thing that's coming out.
Yeah.
It's only $699.
Yeah.
And it's cheaper than last year. Strangely enough.
You just plug it into your monitor or TV or whatever, and it's good to go, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I bought the 2020 iPad Max Pro.
Mm-hmm.
The big giant 12.5 or 13-inch, whatever it is, and I have yet. I was gonna order the keyboard, the touch key, the keyboard that comes with it, the Apple one, and it basically replaces my MacBook. I can do everything I want on my iPad.
Nice.
Except for
editing.
My editing program don't work on it. All the other ones do, but the one I own don't work on it.
Well, of course not.
But you could get what's that? There is a video editing app which I use on my iPad, and it's called LumaFusion.
LumaFusion.
Yeah, and here's the good thing: do you know that the new the new M1s are actually on the same architecture as your iPad and phone, so that LumaFusion also works on the new Mac.
Huh.
Yep, because it's the same architecture, it's the same thing. So that thing is cheap. In fact, it's free. You just want to add more stuff in. I think you pay by $5 or something for add-ons.
Yeah.
Right. So, and you buy it one time, and you can do all your editing off it.
Yeah.
Right. If you're not into fancy stuff and everything else, then basic editing, I think it's perfect and it's super fast. But right, so LumaFusion. Look into that.
It's kind of the reason why I got it was for all the photography shit I've been doing, and because I want to try to start editing videos and stuff on it too. But what I found is it's just going to be a little bit difficult to do videos the way I want to, the way I do my videos on an iPad. If I did it my old way when I used iMovie, no problem. But since I do them a different way now, it's a little bit more difficult. But yeah,
check it out
for $1,400. It's pretty badass iPad.
No, for sure. The iPad Pro is a monster as well. So try out LumaFusion anyway. It's cheap, right?
I will try that out.
Like $10, and maybe you might find that it might work for you, and definitely it works on the iPad for sure. Because I use it on my iPad. It's just that when I want quick and dirty edits, I'll use that because I couldn't be bothered to go and buy all the add-ons and stuff like that. It doesn't add up to much anyway. Because it's just a one-time payment, it's not a subscription. So you buy all the titles and the audio shit and everything else. It's just a one-time payment. It may just bring it up to about $20.
Okay,
right. But since so just go and try it. It will work. So, welcome back, Jarvis.
Welcome back, buddy.
Yeah, how's this?
Much better.
So far, so good.
Yeah.
That's strange. I don't know what was going on. I'll have to investigate that because Sunday morning, Superman Kev and Harley's Diners and Rides and I are doing a live stream, and I was hoping to use my other computer.
I saw that.
Yeah.
What were you using?
Interesting conversation with the three of you guys.
Should be all right. We'll get a little camping at a Harley Diners and Rides. Dave, he's got a big camper and stuff, so we'll have a little chit chat about that. And Superman Kev's always got something up his sleeve.
So Jarvis, so tonight we are talking Harley launch. I know you're a Goldwing guy, right?
Yeah.
So
well, I got a Kawasaki Crown Core as well. So.
okay, but you're non Harley. I guess did you look at the launch at all, or is it something that even interests you? Or
Yeah,
and
I
what are your
watched it.
thoughts?
I watched it, and I had been to the bike show the year before, just before the shutdown. The Toronto show was on, and I'd been and looked at all the Harley, everything. And what I saw in the launch, it didn't seem to excite me as much as what I saw the year before. It seemed like it kind of went backwards a little bit. Now, maybe it was just that we weren't there live. We were just seeing it online, and maybe it's not as captivating to the eye as it was being actually there. But some of the things I did notice, and one of them was I didn't like this year's Fat Boy as much as the one I saw at the bike show like the year previous. So it didn't grab my eye like the other one. Like I was really impressed with the Fat Boy at the other one. I know,
Yeah,
Paul.
last year's Fat Boy, we were talking earlier, I think before you got here, with the anniversary edition one that they brought in, was just a magnificently gorgeous bike last year. So I haven't done enough research because Fat Boys aren't my biggest attention draw for me. So I haven't really seen the difference between the 2020s and 21s, but I have to check it out because I know my dealer did get a few 21 Fat Boys in the other day. So
No difference.
no difference.
No difference. Just paint and finish and everything.
Oh, gotcha.
Else. I mean, it basically sells itself. I mean, you have to love. You either love it or you hate it, right? And from what I know, the Fat Boy has not changed other than the color schemes. And I think they're going a bit more chrome, right? I think last year's Fat Boy had some black on it, or at least in the engine, they had some black on it. But now they're going fully chrome with the Fat Boy, and that's just about it. And apparently, they're saying that it's going to be cheaper than last year. I don't know why you put so much chrome on it, and it's still going to be cheaper. Good for them.
I heard the same thing when I was watching those videos today. Matt Laud said the same thing, that it was going to be cheaper.
Yeah.
I did like the fact for the specials this year they're giving you the option of black or chrome.
Yes.
Because it's kind of like, we had Paul on earlier who was without even looking at his bike, I know it's plastered in chrome. Right? Paul, it's just going to be chromed out. My dad's bikes are chromed out. I like blacked out stuff.
Yep.
However, you might like a little mixture of both. I mean, it's nice that they give you. Huh? No chrome?
No chrome.
Okay, good. Good. But it's nice that they're giving you the option again. I mean, to say, yeah, I want this bike, but I don't like it all blacked out. Can you get it for me in chrome? It's nice that they're at least offering that option for them this year.
For more money, though.
For more, yeah, of course, for more money.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the Fat Boy that I looked at, I think it was a lot of polished aluminum on it, like the wheels and that. They were the solid centerline type look.
Mm-hmm.
It was a pretty sharp contrast with there wasn't a lot of chrome on it either. It was more of the polished anodized look.
I know it was like maybe the 2012 Fat Boys. They did like almost like a nickel plating or something like that, where it wasn't chrome, but it wasn't like brushed aluminum. It was like a different style. Like you can't polish it up to a mirror or anything like that, but it had a nice little alternate.
Kind of like a brushed platinum or whatever they call that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
No, my days of having chrome bikes are over with.
Yeah, I know.
There's nothing worse than cleaning chrome.
What about the Diavol that comes in a chrome tank?
Yeah, no, I wouldn't buy that one.
Dude, just spray paint it. Just spray paint it. You'll be fine.
Yeah, chrome. Because when I was younger, I did the chrome thing. I did the show bikes. I had a Yamaha V-Star Classic. It was a 650. I bought for $3,800, and I turned it into a show bike. Now this is a Yamaha V-Star Classic 650. By the time I was done with that bike, I had 15 grand in it for a show bike.
Oh, just think of what you could have bought with that money.
Yeah, never again.
Yeah, chrome's a pain. 2 hours of your life you could never get back when you're polishing it.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Then you put your hand on the pipe to brace yourself to get up, and then it's like, oh, why did I do that?
No, I mean, here's the worst thing about the chrome bits, right? I mean, those bikes that were fully chromed, you literally have to just put it aside for an hour first, and then start your wash, and then start your polishing and everything else.
Yep.
You know, then 3 hours of your life you can never get back.
Mhm.
You know, I can't remember which bike I had was fully chromed. It was a pain in the ass. I think it was one of the Sportsters or something that I had, the old ones. God damn it. You know, it's crazy, and it's such a small bike, and I already spent 2 hours fucking polishing the damn thing.
Right.
Jesus, you know, I could imagine if I got a fat boy or something, I would be fucked. I'll just give it to somebody else to do it.
Well, you know my dad's fat boy, right? With all the chrome he's got, it takes him a good solid like 3 hours to do all the chrome.
Yeah, that's the thing about that, because I have another guy that's living where I am, and I just realized that he has the same the same fat boy that your dad has, and I couldn't imagine the amount of chrome on it, son of a bitch, and it still shines so well. It looks so good. The guy really takes care of it. You know, I've yet to meet the guy and say, listen, you know, can you tell me how much of your day is gone just polishing this bastard, you know?
Yeah.
Let's put it this way. So, like, I think my dad spent 52 or 5,500 on it, which good deal in itself.
Right.
He went over the bike as far as everything that was not a stock piece, like it's a Harley Davidson chrome add-on. And the dude put another $5,000 in it and just chrome bits, like chrome this, like the wheels alone, like those solid rims that are normally just silver. The guy had those chromed.
Oh,
like that's not a cheap option.
No.
Don't you get to a point somewhere along the way that then it becomes like a show bike and it's not
exactly.
It's not a rider.
Yeah,
exactly.
It does.
I want to say it was right around. It was when I was showing my bike. Remember when we used to have the open wide or the wide open magazine bike shows downtown Kansas City?
I remember that's at Bartle Hall.
Yeah.
Yep.
I used to show my bike there, and one of my buddies, he was acquaintance. He had a fat boy, and he completely chromed the whole bike.
So you're never going to ride it?
Yeah, it was a show bike. That's all that was, and it would literally take him a week to clean that bike. I was like, it's a show bike. You don't get rid anyways. How does it get dirty?
Right.
Exactly.
Goldwing guys are like that too. I mean, Kuryakin sells a shit ton of chrome to all these guys. Like, and then it just becomes not a rider. I mean, you don't take it out. You don't.
Yeah.
They won't take it out if it's rain. Like, I'll ride anytime. Mine's just the plain Jane and get on it, and it's meant to ride, and it's comfortable, and let's go.
I wash my bike twice a year.
Yeah, I do too.
I watch. I got guys like in my bike group that you know they're all Harleys. I'm the only Japanese bike in the group now. I'm probably going to get hit hard this summer about it, but they get out and they clean it every before the ride. They're out there, and when we come out ready to go, and they're like shining, and they don't mind riding in the rain. They'll ride in the rain. They'll get it dirty, but then they got to clean it before they'll clean it before they put it to bed.
See, I
get up in the morning.
I generally clean in the springtime, and then I clean kind of as I'm like fiddle farting around in the wintertime when I have nothing better to do. That's pretty much the only 2 times mine gets cleaned up throughout the year.
Yeah.
I keep mine clean and I polish it, but I'm not scared to get it dirty and take it out and anything and ride it all the time and put lots of miles on it. I'm not one for wanting to work on it. I only work on it to make sure it's reliable.
The only time my bike got washed a little bit more last year was because we took a bunch of pictures on it. Other than that, I don't give a shit. Screw it.
Hey, while you guys are here, how big of a pain in the ass is it to replace the triple trees, like with all the bearings in the neck?
So,
taper bearing?
If you remember, a few months ago. I just did that.
I'm aware. How much of a pain in the butt was it?
I'm going to tell you right now, if you don't have that bearing tool, it's a son of a bitch. You have to have
All
that
right.
bearing.
Well, then my triple trees are staying polished is what they're going to stay as then.
Yeah. If you don't have that bearing tool, now the bearing tool is actually quite cheap, but if you don't have it, it's a motherfucker. I'm a welder, so I was able to weld it in a race, and it shrinks it, drops it out. So that's how I got mine out, because I wasn't going to spend the $12 for a tool, or how much for $25 for a tool. But yeah, it's a son of a bitch. It really is.
Yeah, I think at 30,000 they have to check them anyway. I might just get it done then. But
yeah,
I got a whole new front end stuff they want to put on, but
it makes a big difference.
Yeah.
Makes a big difference. Like the gold wings, like my year anyway, they're like your old bicycle. They're just a ball bearing in a pressed metal race. Like they're nothing.
Yeah, and that's
how they ever did a $25,000 bike with that type of steering head bearing is just ridiculous. I mean, I had taper bearings in my 900 Cowie back in the early 80s.
Yeah,
but the Goldwing was really fairly easy to do. I did the front shocks. I pulled them out and rebuilt them, and did the sliders and the shims and all that stuff, and then brand new seals, and then I put the taper bearings in, and hands down the best handling upgrade I ever did.
Yeah, it's. I didn't know for the longest time that my neck bearings were going bad until one day I'm sitting there and you could feel it notch, and then after I changed them and went out and rode the bike, God, it's like riding a brand new bike. It's like riding.
They get kind of egg shaped somehow, and then the bike don't track, and the signal that they're bad on the Goldwings is if you let go of the handlebars when you're coasting, you'd get into the death wobble.
Right.
And as soon as I change those bearings out, you can ride all day long. Just put it in cruise control and put your hands on your lap and just ride.
Yeah. And that's what
cruise control.
That's what I was having problems with mine, except mine was I would not have a wobble unless I was between 45 and 55 miles an hour. That's where my wobble was.
Yeah.
And I didn't have a wobble at all.
Yeah.
You said you got your triple trees? Or your
I got all the parts for it. I just don't want to do it. I'll replace the fork tubes and do entire wiring on the bars at some point this year. But
if I would have done mine in one night, if I'd have stuck with it, I could have had it all torn apart and completely put back together, probably around 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah.
I never have 4 or 5 hours.
It took me 30 minutes to tear apart the front end. That's all it took. It was 30 minutes. The main problem I had was the bearings.
Yeah. You'll hear it like if you're going over a railroad track or something like that, where it's a quick bump, you'll hear them rattle.
Yeah.
When they start to get bad, that's the telltale, other than the death wobble.
The death wobble, and then you'll start to feel it. You'll start to feel it kind of. Because what it does is, even though we've got cone bearings, they will start notching in the races.
Yeah.
And that's what you'll feel. You'll feel that little click, click, notch. And that's how you know they're going bad.
Yeah.
Luckily it's still running smooth. It's just more of a cosmetic thing than anything. So
no, you have to do it. It's mandated now.
No. I'll pay Holler to come do it. He can do it while I'm riding around on the oval.
I'm sure there's somebody on YouTube that's got a really good video on how to do it.
Oh, there's a lot of videos, but like he was saying, if you don't have the right tool for it, it sucks.
Yeah, it's a son of a bitch if you don't have the right tool. But when you got the right tool, but I also cheated. I didn't actually unhook everything. I left everything up, and I just dropped my front end down onto a jack, did the bearings, and then lifted it right back up.
Oh, nice.
A lot of guys you watch, they're going to take the whole damn thing apart just to change those bearings.
Yeah.
I didn't do that. I'm like, I'm not going to take everything apart just to change these bearings. I dropped down the front end, replaced the bearings, slid it right back up. That's what I did. Now, if you got the whole triple tree, everything, then yes, you have to unhook everything. Everything has to come off.
Yeah.
But also, your front end is not a Springer front end.
No, it's not.
You don't have all the bullshit I got.
Yeah.
So I can do yours even faster.
No, I mean, just to like do, like, I'm looking at mine right now because I'm replacing the forks with black lowers and everything like that. And
Yeah.
it's going to be jack it up, take off the wheel, bolt, and the forks should slide out.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, it's on yours. It's simple. Springer front end, completely different monster.
yeah, you can keep your Springer.
I love it. Fletch loves it. He misses it.
I know. I missed it. Biggest fucking regret in my life is selling off that Crossbones, man. I mean, it was a really great bike to ride.
It really, everybody's like, "Oh, it's old technology." It's old technology that still works. Until
Yeah.
they're using it. And
Exactly.
it's great. It's really a great bike.
And that goes back to what I was saying earlier, right? If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Right.
Right. So you want to go with the times and everything else, but at the end of the day, if it's producing the way if it's performing the way it's supposed to perform, and if a 96 can smoke a 114,
Yeah.
where the fuck do you want to change it to a 114, right?
Right. Leave the 96.
Leave it.
Best damn sounding engine, best running engine. God damn, they're just so great.
I know. Exactly.
How do you
Good
really
limits.
feel?
Yeah.
Fuck the Fat Bob. That's how I feel.
Man, no, I agree with you. Yeah.
Now I know obviously you hate. I know you hate that Fat Bob, but what did you ever think about the Dyna Fat Bobs?
The Dyna Fat Bobs
Yeah.
with the two round headlights.
Uh huh.
They weren't that bad. I did finally ride one. I still didn't like the ride of it, but it was nowhere near compared to this new one.
Yeah.
This new one is just shit. The old one, it would be a bike I would ride. I wouldn't own one, but I would ride it. You know,
Mhm.
if you gave it to me, I wouldn't turn it down.
Well, I'm not giving you one. I was just curious. So.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
We're not on that level of friendship yet. I see.
No, I never even actually met you, man.
We're 40 minutes away. We haven't met yet.
God damn
Yeah.
it. Oh, you're just around the corner, right? So I mean,
And that's the thing, it's 40 minutes, but it's city driving.
It's a long 40 minutes.
It's a long
Already?
40 because he just lives on the south end of the city. That's it.
Yeah.
But that's how long it takes to get across the city is 40 minutes.
but can't you take a highway and
That
scoot
is
back in?
taking a highway.
That
all
is a highway.
That's not even highway. That's interstate.
So you should be doing. Oh fuck me!
No,
Interstate speeds.
I say 40 minutes by going off a map. That's what they tell me.
Okay.
Well, I'm gonna
Right.
say, challenge accepted. I bet I can do it in 20.
Oh yeah, no, I'm sure.
Well, that's the
I'm-
challenge is to always beat the GPS time. So
Oh no, you surely will because you know why? The GPS is based on the car, right?
Yes.
So you definitely got to knock off 20 minutes or 25 minutes off that. So you're good. Right? I know whenever I look at my GPS, if I need to go to a new place, right, and it says 40 minutes, I say, okay, fuck, I'll take off 20 minutes from there.
Right.
and I'm there in 20 minutes.
Exactly.
Right? So yeah, so you're 20 minutes away, god damn it.
It's like when I did that 500-mile run
Yeah.
to Kingston and back, and the GPS said it was going to be 6 p.m. I was going to get home, and I was home at 3:30.
Yeah. Yeah, that's about right. Yeah. That's about right.
that's when you won. That's a good win.
Exactly. God damn GPS. Yeah. Anyway, yeah.
Cool.
God damn it.
Hey, Jarvis, did you catch JP's video on his ride on the Gold Wing? But his is
No.
not the latest one, I think. He's the latest one, but I think it's a different model from yours. JP 1970. I think he
No, I
went
didn't
to
see it.
California for Christmas. He actually test rode a Gold Wing.
One of the new ones, or one like mine?
It was
think
it's
it's a
the
new one.
DCT one, I think.
The DCT,
Was it?
Yeah, so it'll be 18 and up. Yeah,
It's
they're
really cool.
basically the same engine. They just moved the engine forward a little bit and put that bigger tranny in. But the engine is still that flat 6.
But
Still,
yours is a manual and not
yeah,
automatic.
6-speed, 5-speed.
5-speed. That
Everybody
DCT.
always dreams that they make it a 6-speed because you always think you want more.
Mhm.
They should have made the 5th a little bit taller, I guess, is what they should have done in the gearing, but they didn't.
But here's the funny thing: the DCT is an automatic.
Yeah, but you can paddle shift it too if you want. You can
Could
make
you?
it. You can shift it.
Oh,
You
okay.
can shift it manually with your hand. There's like little paddle switches,
Oh, okay.
kind of like a Formula One car, really. The way it's
Yeah.
set up, they're like a DCT as well.
I think that's the alien thing for us and for me is well, whenever I get on a scooter in Thailand, I was like, "Fucking, where's the brakes?" You know, right? Then
Yeah.
no, sorry, where's the clutch? And I keep hitting the clutch and I'm slamming on the brakes. You know,
But they
It's
do
ridiculous.
they do make a standard of those years of bike. You can get
Yeah.
it both ways. You can get the DCT or the standard. I think it's a speed though.
Okay.
Standard.
So Conk was saying pedal shifters.
But they
might
had
help.
trouble with the standards. They've got that hill assist thing, and it keeps
Mhm.
the bike from rolling. I guess some
Right.
people can't. I don't know. I never had a motorcycle that needed that, and even if it was on a hill. I mean, you either got the brake on or you're feathering the clutch and you go, right? But
Yep.
so they put that on, and I guess there was problems with that, with the hill assist not working properly, and they had some of them were in the shop for months. So that first year, people were kind of scared away from them. But I think now that they see the DCT has like been problem free, they're jumping on it. So a lot of guys are saying it's okay now.
I think it's everything with anything new, they need to fix it anyway. So
Yeah.
it takes time.
Well, I think guys were just scared every time there was a new model. Even when my series of Goldwing came out, guys were bitching about them back then, but now they're the stables, like they're the pride of the fleet, right? Everybody, all the guys that are pulling trailers and stuff, they want like my era of them to
Right.
pull with.
And what
That's
year's
awesome.
yours?
Mine's an 05.
And
So
and
from 01 to 17, they're basically the same chassis.
huh.
They just changed the bodywork. In 06, they changed the dash and they got bigger speakers in it and stuff like that. But
Right.
The rest of it underneath is all the same. They moved the radio around. They put it on the side, GPS and stuff like that. They moved the controls for it from one side to the other, but right up till 17, they were all basically the same.
Awesome.
Well, guys, I've had a super long week.
Yeah, me too.
Holler Motto is probably like he probably runs 24/7, but I need sleep.
No, actually, I got off work today, and I took a nap around 1, and I've been back awake since right before I messaged you earlier. So yeah, I'm getting pretty tired.
Yeah. So, guys, I do appreciate everyone coming on. Jarvis, Holler, both of you, Paul from earlier. Appreciate you guys coming on, sharing your thoughts, and we'll do this again. Probably, I don't want to say next week, as I just don't know because a lot of it depends on schedules. So,
Yep.
But as always, though, thank you for coming, and as always, Fletch, thanks for being the co-host and host or whatever you want to call it. Just thanks for being there. So
Always here, brother. Always here.
All right. Well, guys, we will talk to you guys later. Thanks again for coming. And as always, I'm not going to say it. I'm too tired. Talk to you guys later.
Take care, guys. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
And